All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the M.O.B Podcast. It's your boy DK, aka that nigga Dak, aka Mr. Black Sheep himself. And I'm here with my esteemed panel, of course, of Jake and Dallas. Say what's up, fellas.
Yo, yo,
Yo, yo.
yo.
Hey, and that's what's up. And today we have a very special guest. We have the CEO of GERD Clothing and the head boss lady in charge, Miss Indra. Everybody give a round of applause for Miss Indra. Hey. What's
Hi
going on
guys,
with you?
very much. How you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic. Doing fantastic.
Good.
All right. So I see we got a couple people coming through and checking out the stream. Rome, thank you for coming through. And N. Garcia, if y'all don't know, that's my mom's, yo. So shout out to moms coming through and
Hey,
showing me some support.
hey.
Hey,
Appreciate you, mama.
Okay.
But yeah. So now that we got well, actually, Miss Indra, why don't you give a little people or the people here a little introduction about yourself?
Indra. I was. I'm originally from Louisiana.
Okay.
Moved to California when I was young, so I had a little west side too on it. But I'm still a little Southern Bellish. um, I was growing up a nerd, and I was growing up in the era where Black nerds were like Steve Urkel type, teas and stuff like that.
Mm,
But I was okay with that, because I at the time I was like, it was what it was. Growing up, I kind of wanted to see more representation of us. I've always kind of been like that, and this prompted me to want to start do something. Cause I love fashion. I love who I am. I love comics. I love anime. I love gaming. I love sci-fi, horror, all that stuff that is components of making me who I am is also makes me a geek and a nerd, which is kind of like a hybrid because they both kind of coincide
mm,
with each other, at some point.
right.
So I just decided to do this. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I took a chance on it, and here we are.
For sure. For sure. That's what's up.
Hey.
That is what's
Yeah, I
up.
like that.
So before we get into today's main, you know, uh, today's episode, I want to ask everybody, how y'all been doing today? How y'all been doing this week? How was everybody's week? We'll start off with you, Jake.
Oh, yeah, I had still having a crazy week.
Mm,
I was just on a business trip. Or actually just got back from a business trip. There was some, unfortunate news on my side. I won't go too much into it, putting people's business out there and not to make things dark. All I'm gonna say is, people get your vaccines. Right? We're
mm.
still in a pandemic. Please get your vaccines. But on the bright side of things, uh, I felt like I just had something, and then I just forgot.
It'd be like that sometimes. I know. We put you on the spot.
Yeah, like I.
All right. No, it's cool, man. If you remember it, we'll come back to you.
Yeah, no, I just got some new studio equipment, so gonna have some better music coming through and whatnot, and uh, still collaborating with good musicians, and so
For sure.
it's things
So
are still relatively
expecting
good.
some things in the future, right?
Oh yes,
All
oh
right.
yes.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Well, Mr. Dallas, man, how was your week so far?
Week was good, man. I got no complaints, man. You know what I mean? Checking out a couple different spots. Hopefully, looking to get to working in the ER emergency department. So trying to see how that's gonna go and go from there, man. Outside of that, man, life's been good, man. I got no complaints, yo. No complaints at
We
all.
about to see Dallas on Grey's Anatomy. He said.
Yep.
Nah, they don't want
Facts.
me on Grey's Anatomy. I'm gonna keep it too real on there.
Oh, you going nip tuck then? You did say ER.
For sure.
Man, my favorite phrase is, "Hey man, you gotta talk to the nurse and the doctor about that, homie. I'm just the middleman, man." They gonna be,
And
like, you
Miss
can't be putting my business out there like that. You know
and
what I'm
Miss
saying?
Indra, how was your week so far? How's your week been?
Oh man, it was exciting. Well, not exciting, but it's like motivating. Finished school last week, so this is
Hey,
my first
Congrats.
official week as thank you as a full
congratulations.
electrician. So I've been bending pipe and building electrical systems out there and having fun. Also I just got motivated, man, to do some things, and I got some new ideas for some stuff. I dropped some posts about my 2 collections that are coming out on underneath my brand, and GERD Squad and GERD University, and I started doing some stuff and got some good stuff coming, man. Like
For sure.
I got some fire. I was ready. I was like, let's go. I'm on with the smoke.
For sure. That's what's up. That's what we like to hear on the M.O.B Podcast. So with that, then, I mean, I get actually anybody check out any new like media or anybody looking forward to anything coming out, you know, like
that Castlevania.
Yeah, the Castlevania.
Is that what you?
Hard, I'm just saying.
One more episode, man. I got one.
Yeah, you need to catch up.
Episode.
You need to catch up.
I guess we won't talk about it too much.
That's
I don't know. I don't know if anybody else who is watching it has been checking it out. But all I will say is this:
bro,
season 4, episode 9, is cold as fuck. Cold as fuck. Shit get. That was a dope ass episode. Castlevania is a dope series.
I feel like no one is talking about it either. I feel like no one is talking about it. Like when Invincible came out, everybody was on that, you know? Like Castlevania, like I feel like no one's talking about it.
This symbolism in him, like fighting death, like he don't care. I'm like, that's the true, like literally the ultimate signage of who Belmont is and who his character is. He didn't care about death to that point. He will fight death. Who fights death?
Trevor Belmont is the GOAT.
Who's out here like
the Winchesters?
Yeah. Oh. All right. Look. All right. Look. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just move on to the main topic of the show.
My bad.
No, you're good. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and.
I don't mean to be, but it's so, when I love something, I'm like, you didn't see it. What's wrong with you?
Nah, you good. Yeah, I know. Hey, if you haven't watched Castlevania, you got like a week or 2 left before I start like spoiling shit and not giving a fuck either.
Yeah,
so y'all better check that shit out for real. But all right, Miss Indra. So today you are here on the M.O.B Podcast, and you are here representing your brand, GERD Clothing. So I kind of had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you, and I was hoping you would share some of your insight with us and the people who are watching. So my first question for you, what inspired you to create GERD Clothing?
Ooh, that story. Okay. When I was younger, when I was a younger adult, shall I say, I literally lived in Oakland and I worked in San Francisco, and I went to school for fashion design, and I had to quit because I was a mother and it kind of started getting hectic going from Oakland to San Francisco every day and not seeing my kid. But I love fashion. I knew I did. I was always growing up teased about different things. I was the kid wearing a big coat in 90-degree weather. And overalls like I'm a farmer. And orthopedic shoes, but don't judge me on my orthopedic shoes. They were nice.
No, we're not. We know they're comfortable.
So growing up, I just got into fashion, and I knew I loved who I was. I loved being a nerd and geek, and I just got tired of either not seeing different representations of nerds and geek, or seeing the things that we love. We can't see ourselves in those things, and especially with like fashion. And I kind of wanted just to celebrate our community and be like, be proud of who you are, man. We still have, we like my clothing line has a lot of references to all the things that we know, and I know, in our community that like hit us hard, hit us. Even with the Dragon Ball Z, I'm not gonna say it's like the best cartoon on best anime. I'm sorry, it's not the best. Looking back on it, it didn't age well. But
I agree. I agree.
It did age well.
I agree.
It did age
Bro,
well.
Dragon Ball's on some bullshit. Dragon Ball's on.
But
done.
That is the first. Honestly, I honestly went back all the way back to Speed Racer. If you ever watched Speed Racer, that was like something I used to like watch because I liked Hanna-Barbera, and that was a part of that. But Toonami, all that stuff that started. I was around when Toonami first started.
Right.
So, that's how. But just being able to celebrate who we are was a big thing for me. So I was like, you know what, I've been wanting to do this. Let's do this. I took a chance. I started taking chances in life, and I wish I wouldn't have waited so long to do that. Taking a chance on myself, and I just did it. And I'm really about quality and really about the vision, and seeing who we are. So being able to be a good representation. So yeah,
that's what's up.
Started.
No, that's what's up. I feel like everybody needs to, like take a chance with themselves and pursue like a passion project. So the fact that you were actually able to like say, you know what, I'm at this point in my life where I just want to do something that not only I enjoy, but I think that other people would enjoy and other people would rock with. That's pretty legit, That's pretty legit. Speaking of GERD Clothing. So the word GERD, can you define that for people? And like, cause I heard GERD and I thought, same thing, geek and
gastrointestinal.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
I get that. I get that all the time. GERD is literally it's an acronym for gastrointestinal stuff, and everybody I hate when it's like the acid reflux. That's what it's.
Shit! I didn't know that.
Reflux.
So, yeah, right. That's what he was thinking.
I was gonna let her explain. I wasn't just gonna like. I
know. I knew what it was, and I was like, "Look, it is not an acronym. GERD is an acronym.
All right, we run with it.
It's not an acronym. It's conjunction. It's two words put together: geek and nerd. So I have to tell people that, like, look, I understand, but you guys have made so many words for the same. You guys have let one word be multiple different meanings for so long. Why are we? I put the meaning on I made my own dictionary definition and put it on the back of the shirt.
For sure,
I feel you.
For sure,
that's actual official looking dictionary definition.
No explanation after that.
Yeah, well, what are we talking about? Like, if you looked at the page and looked fully at the quotes, you can see the definition on the back. I posted it, so when I get those, I'm like, okay. First, I was laughing, and I was like, I just come back. I was like, I'm gonna be like Wendy's, and I'm just gonna give a little wisecrack back just to laugh. We all laugh about it.
Wendy's.
Yeah, look, Wendy's is petty.
Wendy's came out with a hip hop album.
Right.
I'm done.
Like straight
I gotta
up.
buy it.
It's
I gotta buy it.
Legit. Like it has some bangers on it too. It had no business being that good. It really didn't.
Oh God, Wendy's is just so petty. When they had the beef. Wendy's, Burger King, all them was beef with Joe.
Hey man, you gotta be careful with these beefs. So people be really like getting hurt over these beefs.
True.
I was just laughing, but yeah, that's what it means. It means geek. It's a conjunction of a mixture of two words I put together for geek and nerd to kind of show that we're basically one and the same. So. For sure. Somebody was like, well, you could have did Meek. I was like, that sounds ridiculous. Look, Meek.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I was like, no. I was like, I'll just.
Nah.
Yeah, I said, I'll just be ready for what's going to happen when I use GERD.
For sure.
I'm just ready.
Let's take some.
That actually reminds me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, and we're gonna go back to your story, Jake. Let's take some time to look at some of these comments because I see that some of them are flooding in real quick. We got Patrick Omar Crooks with the eye emojis. I guess he's peeping the stream. Hey Patrick, man, appreciate you coming through.
Hey, what up,
love, hope you stick around longer. Jose Rosales said here and gave us a little wave. What's up, Jose? We appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through. And then, my mom's is out here laughing.
All the love.
And basically saying that GERD equals geek and nerd. Like she knows, But
you'd think it would be obvious.
I'm not gonna lie, that gastrointestinal thing, I was like, what? I was like, nani?
That's funny.
And I had to look, literally one time I told somebody, I said, it's the anti-acid reflux brand. They're like, what? I was like, anti-acid reflux, sir.
Yeah.
No, there was this one time, I don't know if you know the group Insane Clown Posse.
Oh yeah, I know Insane Clown Posse.
Wave at my high school. Yeah, people were dressing up, doing the face paint. Like it became a gang affiliated thing. Like people were getting in fights and shit. Like it was getting pretty intense.
It got wild real fast.
And so I asked my dad. Yeah, man, because people were straight up
rocking clown makeup.
Dog, like,
yo, What you come
Yeah.
from? Blood? Like what?
That's
Get out my
look.
face.
That's a
Well,
scary
because they had the little
situation.
logo, the little hatchet man. They had the little logo. So like people were getting tattoos, people had the backpacks, people had like it became a serious thing. And so
It's
at
gonna.
the time, my dad was in the medical field, and I was like, "Dad, have you ever heard of ICP?" And he was like, he kind of stops and he goes, "Intracranial pressure."
Yeah, you should have ran with it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
when you say like the whole gastro thing, like it just totally like made me think of that.
Good. I had to be honest about that. I was like, look, I know what's going to mean. Like, when I sat down with my vice president, he was like, "Heard." He was like, "You know what they're going to say." I said, "I already know. I already know. They can come with it. It's
Yeah, but
fine."
you just took
But
it.
I
You
stand
embraced
behind.
it.
Yes. I'm just standing behind what it means. And, oh, it's been funny. I just like, look, I'm going to Wendy's approach. I'm not one of those people who get mad about stuff. I'll crack a joke and we'll just run with that. So yesterday I
Mm-hmm.
got one and I went to go, like, literally one time I got one and I literally said something. I was like, telling her about it being conjunction and something else. And she was like, "Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't even look." I said, "Did you actually look at the definition on the back?" I posted it on the back of the shirt and I posted that. She was like, "Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to." I was like, "Okay, thank you. You have a good day."
For sure, for sure. All
I've
right,
had
so
some weird stuff.
I got another question for you. And this one is
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit more unique to you because I feel like you hold a unique position as a black woman trying to establish her brand in today's market. So, as a black woman, how do you feel about like the actual marketplace today, and as far as for black female content creators? And then how does it feel being like a black female content creator?
I don't know. I feel like I just don't want to get pigeonholed into a stereotype. I
Okay.
see so many different avenues.
Mm.
I see there's some things I just watch. I'm just like, man, come on. Like, but I love seeing the greatness. Like Issa Rae, I love seeing her stuff. She just has so much greatness going on. And just seeing all the black women out here who are pushing for her, who are doing innovative things, it makes me like we literally started the women's suffrage, black women.
Mm-hmm.
And at a point in time when things started gaining traction and white women started joining, they took over for us. We are always on the front lines of things. We are always the one pushing the envelope, pushing the button, trying to do, be innovative and create things because we are, as women, that is naturally what we do, create. We create
Okay.
human beings and stuff like that. So
Facts.
with that being said, it's just like I really wake up in the morning time, put on my little coveralls because I wear coveralls and work boots all day,
Mm-hmm.
and go to work with the idea that I want to continue on that excellence, and beat that down because that's something that we really need to see in ourselves and instill in ourselves and our children is that you have black excellence. You just need to go out there and show it. So
That's what's up. That's respectable. No, that's
I love it.
respectable.
I
Yeah, I
love
love
it.
it.
No, for sure, for sure.
It's
Big
admirable.
kudos.
Like
And
I was
my
the type who was always trying to like find a way to fit in, but then you're more the type that was just like, nah, fuck that. Like I'm here. Like
I'm a
yeah.
it is.
rebel.
I'm
I'm a
standing on this
rebel.
run. Like I
I'm an
love it.
underdog. I'm a rebel. I don't care what people think about me. I'm like, I'm tatted up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I chose a profession that nobody would, you don't see black women joining, the union and being electricians
Nope.
working construction. You don't see black women
Nope.
doing, because we're taught that we have to be pigeonholed into something, specific. And I'm just like, that's just not, we're so dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
why do you have to be one thing? Somebody was like,
Facts. Big facts.
why?
Yeah,
Somebody was
it
like,
took
what
me
have
too
you
long to
have
get to
you
that
not seen?
mindset. I agree.
Yeah, don't
Wholehearted.
pigeonhole yourself, man. When I was free, I was like, I zenned out. I was like, I don't care what you think.
Right.
I don't
It
care.
is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. This is me. That's what you
This is
said.
me.
Facts.
Facts.
Enjoy it or don't. So
That's what's up. I respect that. And as far as my next question goes, kind of aligns with what Mom's actually just asked. So I'm gonna go ahead and read from the comment section. N. Garcia asked, "What is the vision for GERD? Who is the line target for? So what's your target demographic? And what makes it unique from the other clothing lines out here now? I think that's a great question. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So my target demographic are geeks and nerds. Specifically, my line was created to celebrate Black geeks and nerds because we are the ones that are looked past and not acknowledged. But there are so many dynamics to us as any human being. There's not just one type or one stereotype or one type of nerd. So to be able to celebrate that and I wanted to create something that we can celebrate that in so many ways with, the references that like I said, the references I put in, like, in the Naruto knowledge one, you'll see all the Naruto stuff. You'll see a book that was, the Black Wall Street, about that Black Wall Street. You'll see so many different things. You'll see, the Jordans, which is like sneakerheads. There's nerds that are sneakerheads. Being a nerd means you have the definition of it. It's not just appearance or just liking one thing or liking collecting comic books. The definition in itself means there's so many more variations, so many different types. So I wanted to kind of represent that and show that and just have a way to celebrate who we are, not just have just pictures of our anime. Have something that we can say this looks like us.
Yes.
Facts, representation.
I want something. I want to wear us now. I don't want to wear everybody else. No.
For sure. Nah, for sure. I completely agree. And I think to touch up on what you were saying in regards to like nerd is not just it's not like a stock image, just because somebody, like, when you think of nerd, people normally think, oh, the person with the glasses or the the suspenders, maybe with the high water pants with the long socks, the classic like Steve Urkel appearance. And maybe there was a period of time where that was like the standard of being like a nerd, but now it has like evolved and basically if you have any obsession with any type of like media criteria or just some form of entertainment, you could be a nerd. You could be like a music nerd. You could be people who love sports love to say that they're not nerds, but you ask the same nerds. Exactly. You ask these same people about so and so stats, and these motherfuckers will sit here and be like, "Yo, that dude 6'5", he 240, he great in the paint, he could do X, Y, and Z."
That's
like,
a nerd. That's a nerd.
So much for
I have a friend.
Yeah, no, I can't do sports after that.
I have a friend.
Notice how I just came back and I knew what you were talking about already.
Yeah,
that just goes to show how passionate people are about that.
Exactly.
So I think, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do is just show, it's a celebration basically of us and showing how many dynamics we have, how many dimensions, we're multi-dimensioned, as people. So I just wanted to show that and see what happens with that, Hopefully everybody likes it.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna go through and we're gonna check out your Instagram, check out a couple things here in a second. So but nah, and just kind of want to touch or re-ask the last part of that question because I do think this is a really good point to bring up. But what do you think makes GERD Clothing unique from other clothing lines?
Because it's not just the pictures of our favorite anime characters. It's not just the pictures of our favorite comic characters. It's not just that. It's us, what we would be or what we would look like, wearing things that have those references or having those references with it. This is what we, basically. There's
more depth to it.
Yeah, it's more depth to it. I'm kind of that kind of creator. I get so deep. I'm just like, well, maybe the people are not going to get this if I dig with this deep with it. But just seeing us in our own, like our own world, because this is honestly, we have our own biosphere in which once we connect with each other, once we, deal with each other, because we know it's not many of us that really like are confident enough to be like, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, it's, there's nothing wrong with it. I like to dress up and do cosplay. I like to, I have a collection stack high full of comic books and anime and stuff like that, mangas and stuff. I like to go to Comic-Con. There's different things we're just not allowed to say, or we're not made to feel comfortable to say because it's against what the flow is going, where everybody else is going. And I really don't care to be I'm always against the grain, you know.
Which how dumb is it that like millions of dollars go into these industries, so somebody's buying them, you know, like somebody is consuming this medium, but then for whatever reason in like social settings it's like taboo to be like oh, what the hell, you watch anime, or oh, you read manga, oh, what, you watch cartoons? And it's just like, well, yes, I do. I mean, they're still made by adults. Like, it's not kids drawing up these things, and it's not like, when you tell me not, when you go back and you watch like all your movies from childhood, how many adult jokes were in those movies? Like
Yes.
when you rewatch them and whatnot, like even for your own
Yes.
kids. And, like, I try to tell people that when it, especially when it comes to, I don't want to go too deep into it because this is something I can ramble on about all day. But once you kind of get past the visual aspect and you start paying attention to the narrative, to the characters, to the story, to like the actual content, like things are so much deeper and they're so much more meaningful rather than like just seeing some bright colors or hearing some loud sounds or something, you know. Granted, there's like programs and there's things for that, you know.
Right.
But generally speaking, yeah, there's more meaning to it than what people just interpret on like a shallow level.
Man,
that
way
makes
too
sense.
many people die in anime for it to be for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
I've seen some
motherfuckers getting
anime.
murked all the time.
Man,
I've seen some anime,
all
and I
kinds
was
of
like,
people, planets getting destroyed, people getting tortured. Like you like, this is not for kids at all.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
No,
And let's not even talk about the killing aspect too. You know, sometimes we
Right.
know what anime be, we know what
man.
fan service is. All right,
Man.
children shouldn't be watching. Kids shouldn't be watching certain kids, or some kids shouldn't be watching certain animes because some of them.
Oh,
yeah, no.
Your parents walk in
There's
at the
some I'll
wrong
just
time,
be like,
and you gonna get in trouble. You know,
and they always do.
like, wait, what are you watching?
how you gonna explain to your mom why so and so's
What you watching?
clothes just exploded?
My
Naruto.
mom thought I was watching that stuff for like the hentai stuff. Like
Turn that
that.
off
She
right
thought I
now,
was
boy.
watching that stuff for a long time. I'd be like, Mom, this is anime. She was like, they're showing all that butt and all the boobies and stuff. I was like, they're not showing it. She's like, it's basically out, girl. I was like, okay, I can't explain this any further to you,
You
ma'am.
know, it's crazy because I was watching Food Wars, and I don't know if y'all know about Food Wars or Shokugeki no Soma, but man, you know, some of them parts come on, and I just be thinking like, thank God I'm by myself watching this, because if somebody were to walk in and like I'm over here watching, it's a cooking show. But then
Cooking
the
show.
motherfucker tastes the shit and her clothes explode. And then if you walk in at the wrong time, I'm looking at you like,
Damn.
Caught me.
4K.
like, you know, like,
Caught me in 4K.
I don't know.
It's not
Right?
what you think.
Yeah. Like,
Wait,
hold
Caught
on
me in
now.
4K on the anime.
She's eating food. I swear to God, it's just food.
Yeah. I promise you.
But did you see the recipe though? That was fire. It was stacked.
Yo,
man.
real talk though, the recipes on that show are legit as hell.
Yes.
They are though.
Awesome.
Dead ass. Dead ass.
They are.
You know, and that's and you know, yeah, like I agree 100% though. Anime is not just for kids. So,
Oh no.
But I got some more questions coming through in the comments section. And this is a good one. I was gonna ask you this, but we might as well ask you this now. How when did you decide to start GERD Clothing, and like how long has it been in production?
Okay, so around February is when we started putting things into motion.
Okay.
So like as far as started publicizing everything, I actually started a few months before that.
Okay.
And it's kind of a process. You have to find, if you can't you yourself illustrate these things, you have to find somebody who can do that. And that was the process. I had to find somebody who can illustrate stuff, do the illustrations for me. I had to find a printer. I had to go through the type of material that we're using. I was so particular about that. I was like, I want to bring out quality. And that's kind of what I did. I went through that process and it was a long process, but a few months before that, basically before February, I got started and I was ready to go by February as far as like posting and social media stuff and basically.
Okay. For sure. That's what's up. And you know what? Since we've been talking about your clothing line, let's go ahead and give the people an image, right, of what your clothing line is about, and your designs and everything. So I'm gonna bring up your Instagram page, right, and then I'm gonna ask you a couple of follow-up questions about maybe some future things or or But anyways, let's go ahead and get into your Instagram. So everybody, or everybody who's watching right now, you can see this is Miss Indra's GERD Clothing IG. For those of you who want to follow, it's GERD Clothing, right? You can see she's been popping, she's really out here getting numbers, yo. You gotta understand, February. So what is that? 3 months, about, depending on when you started in February. So in 3 months, she's been really making waves and really like out here putting out content. So let's go ahead and look at some of these designs you got going on. And then I got some other questions to ask you. So let's go ahead and bring up this one, because this one is actually one of my favorite designs that you got going on right now. I love the color palette. I love this like toxic green, and this, I love the purple. Like, I love these like neon like color palette scheme. I really fucks with it.
I love colors.
In regards to like your creative process, are you the one who actually comes up with all the designs for GERD Clothing, or is it like a collaborative effort?
It's kind of a collaborative effort. Like, I would ask the artist, how would this look with that? And I come with pictures. That's one thing I had to learn. If you're trying to have an artist work something for you, always come with pictures of what you see in your head, something similar, and say, okay, this is what I want this to look like with that. And they'll be able to put stuff together. Like the first artist I worked with, Julian Shaw, who's still working with me, to continue on the rest of the original part of the clothing line. He was like, we literally went back and forth on ideas. Like, I was like, this is what I want, specific, these shoes, this shirt, this, that. And I have to show him, send him pictures. And he was like, okay. And he'll send me something back. And I'm like, okay, now, okay, let's change this. Let's do this. And he'll change it. And he worked with me. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so picky. He was like, no, you're good. You gave me the money.
Right.
So, yeah, he worked with me, and when I was like happy with it, when I seen it and I didn't see anything I wanted to change, we went with it, and he moved on to the next one. He did like 11, 12 designs for me. So, yeah, he did like 12 designs. Yeah, we really was working for weeks, and I was like, let's get this going. And at the point I was laid off for a little bit from work, so I was like, that's all just time working on this. So, yep, that's working.
For sure. I want to bring up these. This is a video. My bad. I thought this was an actual image. But let's look up this image. I think this is so cool. Like you said, okay, a lot of these are videos. Let me see if I can find hold on, y'all. Let's see. Okay, so let's bring up these designs right here. This is a shirt. I'm pretty confident this is a shirt. So I really love rocks with it. I like this design. I like the it looks like the Akira style bike in the back.
Yeah.
And then I love the she's saucy as fuck. And you know why I like her design the most? So as you can see, I wish I could zoom in more, but she's got a pair of these on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey!
Again,
look at that.
Just because we nerds don't mean we not rocking the drip, and that is clearly displayed on Indra's design. So
I got a pair of those in my closet right now too. Yeah, I was talking to I was doing one podcast, and I was just like, yeah, they're like, I was like, I don't like if a man goes in my closet, they get mad because I got shoes in there. Like, I only paid like $30 for it, and they're worth $500-$600 right now. And they're like, what else? Like, yeah, I don't pay a lot.
And you're not flipping these shoes and reselling them because?
But I say, goat.
Shoes.
I'm about to say, goat is.
I'm telling you, I love my shoes, man. I got like the Airises, I got the retros, I got you looking at me like, what's going on? What's going on? Man, my closet, when I get to like dress and pick what I want to pick, I'm just like so saucy with my clothes. I'm like, man, I'm about to wear these J's with that. I'm about to wear these Reeboks with this and that. Everybody was like, where did you get those shoes from? I was like, I had those for 5 years. I don't get to wear my shoes. I go to work.
These old things.
I wear work
these
boots.
old things.
Yeah, they're like $5 brand new because I don't get to wear my shoes.
$500 J's for the low. Okay.
Right.
For the low, for 30.
Bruh.
I walked out. I was like, look at that. $500. The sweater 7s. I got the sweater 7s. Everybody was like, "What the?" I got the black ones. Which ones are they? They have black with patent leather on it. They're like suede and then patent leather on it. They're all black on black. Oh, I got those. I got those when they first came out, and they were only like $100 and something. They're worth like $400, $500, $600 right now. I was just like, I got small feet,
right?
And I like J's. It's just I like shoes.
All I can think of is the resale value. That's literally all I'm thinking of.
I'm telling you, I don't even want to say how
All
much
I
money.
can-
I got shoes in there. You would probably like, where do you get those shoes from? I'm like, I got small feet, and I like to go to the outlets, and I'm picky.
Right.
I pick what I like.
That's
So do
wild.
you shop
So,
in? Do you shop in kid size or do you shop in women's size?
You know what? Sometimes I teeter. Depends. Okay, so it depends on what type of shoe you get and what brand and stuff like that. Like the retros, I have to get like an 8 because they're so narrow in the front.
Mm-hmm.
But other ones I can get 7, 7.5. I got some what's the gray. Matter of fact, I should get them, but but they're like the gray retros that everybody likes, and I have those, and they're like a 7, and they fit me fine. So I got the black cats. They're like a 7. They fit me fine.
Yeah, I have no clue what any of these are.
Oh,
I'm not
look
at-
super
look
at all.
Some of people not see your
No,
head.
she's
But
blazed right now.
It is.
Like the black cat.
I'm just
Man.
I know some of these words.
So,
So
quick
yeah.
question. And we got some more questions popping up. Actually, let's take a time or a little break real quick and hit up this comment section because I see we have some more viewers, and I want to shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys coming through and checking us out. Lilo, I see you're here. What's going on, Lilo? Lilo has been a constant viewer of the show.
Lilo's a regular.
Since day one.
Yeah.
So Lilo's a homie for real. Matt, good morning. I see you out here supporting the stream, supporting the podcast. I appreciate that. Johan S. Powell, Extreme. What's going on, brother? How you doing? I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome to the M.O.B Podcast, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. But you got some good questions coming through. Mom's really out here trying to like really figure out, what you about, Miss Indra. So you're gonna have to answer some of these.
I'm
questions,
mysterious. I'm mysterious.
So, and this was a good question too because I like these designs, right? I like the artwork. It's really unique, really original, very like black as fuck, right? Which I think is something that was extremely important to you. How do you vet the artists you work with? And then, like, were you the one who actually saw sought after these people, or did they kind of find you through mutual connections or something like that?
Looking for an artist, and I just started looking up different on Facebook and Instagram, and just looking up for different Black artists. And I remembered I was a part of this Black Artists Connected group that is on Facebook, and I went in there and I posted, "Hey, I'm looking for an artist for this and that." And I really didn't get hit back, so I started looking at artists in that group and hitting them up about it. One artist was like, "Look, I was like, I love your work." He was like, "Look, I can't do nothing right now because I'm kind of booked, but I got a friend who can do it." And that's when he hooked me up with Julian Shaw, and then we just started working together. And I kind of just look at it kind of comes in my algorithms now, artists, and I like looking at it. I love art. I love art. So I look at their stuff, and if I really like it, if it really catches my eye, like I'll hit them up and, "Hey, I'm looking for commissions, and if they're open, they'll say on their page if they're open, but if they're open, I'll hit them up and let them know, even if they're not. Like there's one artist I want to work with, and he's like, "I'm closed right now." I'm like, "Come on, man. I want to get this part done." I'm ready.
Right, set a reminder so you can let me know. Put me on a waiting list.
That's what I'm saying. Just let me know when you're ready. I got some money for you.
Right.
I want to get this work done. And I try to, treat anybody I work with very well. Even like the people at the printing company. I deal with like 2 printing companies right now. I try to treat the people, anybody I work with. I don't want them to say they've had a horrible experience working with me. I always apologize to the artist before I work with them and say, "Hey, I'm picky.
Right.
So you might be changing things about 20,000 times, and then I look
Hey.
at it and like it, and then ask you to change it 20,000 more. I
You're
apologize.
spending your money for it. You got to
I'm
get
about
Yeah.
to say
paid for
you're
it,
putting you have a standard of quality that you want to adhere to, and at the end of the day, you know, this is your name. This is your brand, which means has your name attached to it. You know, and whatever
Yep.
you put out there, you're like, bro, I'm putting out that heat, so I expect nothing less
Mhm.
than absolute
Nothing less.
like fire. So no,
Yeah,
I
and
can
they're always
respect that.
good. They're always good about it too. So I'm like, there's certain things I just want to see when I look at it, you know.
Mm,
So that's what I do really.
for
Not too
sure.
serious.
And then as far as like the shoes go, because I'm looking at their designs and I'm seeing all like every design they got some type of kicks on. So do you plan to expand your line to include footwear eventually down the line, maybe?
If you guys will later on, possibly I could look into that because
Right.
I know if I do, I love colorways. Like literally, I used to love going on a Nike site because they let you customize shoes
Mm-hmm.
and just start customizing shoes and doing different colorways. I love doing that. Shoot, yeah, that's something I can look into later on. That'd be fun. And
Okay.
see where that goes. Create some GERD stuff. You like
Yeah,
what in the
some
world?
GERD kicks. Hey, look,
Yes,
here's what it
limited
is. You know,
Hey.
we trying to
edition.
support black business here. So you know,
Yeah, I'm
if you got
ready.
some GERD kicks and they fire, which you know by
But
their
Drop them
I
designs, you
do
can
size
tell
have
it's gonna
some
be
12,
heat.
I have some GERD
size
slides
12.
that are coming.
Some GERD slides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Hey, that's
So
real. That's
And
real.
speaking of things
Slides are
that are
universal.
coming up, do you have any other like lines or any other like things or collaborations coming up that you know you're excited for?
yes. Okay, so we have on our site on a page it shows two different collections I'm dropping um pretty soon too. One is called GERD Squad, and that is basically a collection dedicated to the nerdy, geeky gangsters out here in the world because there's different
Niggas who used to
dynamics.
watch
We
Dragon
very
Ball Z.
let
That's what she's talking about.
yeah.
That's what she's
See,
talking about.
and it's like just to
Don't be
show
coming
different
out my
dynamics. It's
life,
more
man.
gritty. It's more it's a little more grungy. It's a little more everything.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see a little bit of like, so you like, okay, but that person's wearing glasses. They supposed to be nerdy and gangster. Like, what's going on in these streets out here? I don't know
That's
how I'm
what.
supposed
Hey
to walk
man,
outside.
what does the
So
world come to when you get ran down by a nerdy nigga?
yeah, you
in
like,
the-
hold on,
in
you
the-
look, you would have got away, but his prescription
Boy.
glasses fell
You
off.
wearing the Naruto headband?
Yeah, he got
Nigga,
you got you get
black
ride with a
versus
nigga
Run
with
them
the,
Up
Run
in the
it!
village hitting in the bricks, nigga.
yeah.
Run your pockets.
Run your pockets.
Oh man,
Nigga like, yo, this my
I didn't see
ninja
that
way.
news report.
Run your pockets, cuz.
This is my
I didn't see
ninja
that
run
news
them
report.
pockets.
That news
Cuh.
report will be I will screenshot and record it. Like, yep, I'm watching this news
Uh,
report on this one.
hey, you know what they say? All publicity is good publicity. So fuck it. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if they see your a nigga running down somebody on like World Star wearing some nerdy whatever, and they see the little GERD icon, you finna blow up. No
Boy.
questions asked. You finna blow
Facts.
up.
Boy.
Facts.
Like people
Real
are-
niggas only.
So that's my lines I'm actually working on, and then I have another line called GERD University, and that's what actually I posted the jackets, the mock-ups for the jackets that you guys seen,
Let's
the
bring
ones
those
you were
back
talking
up.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I posted for is GERD University, and that's gonna be HBCU kind of like concentrated, but I thought a Letterman jacket would be man, that I can't wait till it gets here, man. It's already on its way. So
And speaking of
I'm
these
with-
jackets, now that I'm looking at the jackets, I gotta ask you about your logo because I'm seeing each letter it kind of has like a different vibe to it.
Mhm.
So what it looks like the U is a beaker, right? Like a
There's a
all
D.
right.
Yeah, the D
yeah,
is
it's,
the
it's a
beaker.
D. It's a beaker, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I said U. My bad. And then the R is
I was
like,
like, what
yo,
What's the
yo,
you?
cause
Hold on,
hey,
hold
listen,
on. There you go. That's that
Idiot.
public school, man. That's that public school. Man.
hey, I ain't say I was the type of nerd who learned shit. All right, my bad.
He's
You know,
not just
I'm
a nerd.
dyslexic.
I like nerdy
Man,
shit.
we know
I
who wasn't.
me.
We know who wasn't winning the spelling bee.
Not me. Shit. And then the
Oh.
R has like a it looks like that pixel like kind of
Yeah, it's
retro
like
video
8-bit.
game. Yeah,
Mhm.
8-bit
Yep.
vibe.
That's the kind of vibe I wanted to give on these. Like, it's like even with the jacket I wanted to give that vibe, like just like a video game. I have some things I wanted to do too. It's going to be like pretty cool to have like video game, like, or like driven kind of thing. You'll see like references, but yeah.
And then what's that E? Is
that like, the samurai swords in a book.
Oh, okay. Samurai swords in the book. Gotcha.
Look, Afro Samurai will always and forever be in my heart. So you will see samurai references.
Ooh, this is a good question.
I love Afro Samurai.
Like,
you love Afro Samurai. How'd you feel about Yasuke?
Imagery was the imagery was beautiful. Okay. Right? But the story's just missing steps.
Thank you.
And you need backstory. We need backstory. We see glimpses of it, but it's like we don't know the full thing. Okay, he was like a jester, whatever. He was an entertainer or whatever for this his master or whatever. So where did he come from? Obviously, he wasn't born there. Let's see where that began and how he ended up there.
They tried to.
It was
too
choppy. Too choppy.
Into 6 episodes, man. Into 6 30-minute episodes.
Real talk. I was done in the first 10 minutes when they showed these big ass fighting robots. But yet they don't even have running water. And I was like...
That's fucked up. Hey, man, hold on. Now.
That's real. That's real.
Like, the rich people had the robots. Like, it wasn't like the poor motherfuckers was out here rocking mechas and shit.
Still, though, son, no running water. That's global.
Why can afford robots?
These robots in this little village?
Stuff like that makes you want to be like, write me in, draw me in, because I got questions to ask these people out here.
Exactly.
What's going on?
Exactly.
Hey, for real, LaShawn Thomas, if you watch this in the future, LaShawn Thomas, just put me on, brother. All right? You tried. You tried with Cannon Busters, and you tried with Yasuke, and I'm not holding you, brother, because I know you're out here trying to make content for us, and I appreciate it, but I just think you need someone who, like, knows what the fuck they doing on your panel of producers. That's all, and I know I don't necessarily have the accolades to back up what I'm saying, but trust me, all right? You put me on your
He's
team,
gonna see this in the future.
You put me on your team, dropping hits.
Hey,
fuck you.
That might not have the official accolades, but I don't know no one who watches more anime than this nigga. So
yeah, so
I'm giving the cosign right there. A little something.
Facts though.
He might have some weird ass views on certain characters, but that's a conversation for a different day.
All right. Yeah, that is a conversation for a different day. So we out here talking about like anime and video games and shit like that. Miss Indra, I got another question for you, because I feel like I see this a lot on social media, and I kind of want to ask your opinion on this. So as a black, like, a black nerd, black woman nerd, I know you've probably had to deal with your fair share of gatekeepers, or how they're referred to in like other, formats, the ashies. So can you explain to the people? Can you explain to the people what the ashies?
I've never heard of that.
The gatekeepers are, and like, what is your definition of a gatekeeper? And then how do you navigate? How do you deal with people like that too? Because I know it must get annoying.
Yeah. Because I feel like gatekeepers are people who feel like they've taken on upon themselves to say, okay, yeah, I've made it in, so let me go ahead and open a gate for other people within my same community to come in. To some extent, basically, you're basically the one saying, oh, yeah, I'll let you go ahead and level up now, or you're not going to be able to level up, kind of thing.
You got to prove yourself to me before.
I've never been a person that's kind of been like cared about gatekeepers. Like I said, I'm a rebel, and that is by genetic nature for me.
Right.
My mother was a rebel, and so on and so forth. So,
she said, you either let me in or I'm kicking this gate.
Yeah, it's gonna happen one way or another. What we gonna do? I go, what's his name? The booty warrior. I'm like, we either do it the easy way or the hard way.
Oh, on the booty.
Yeah.
He was on. I think he was on the. It was the Scared Straight. Yeah, Scared.
I seen the original documentary when they did the original interview. That's what I seen first, and then I seen Boondock. I was like, I'm dead.
And I won't see.
alone. He was aggressive, and I was like, I had to look at every man in the room like, y'all better be afraid. And when he got released, I was literally sending out text messages to all my friends and family, like all the male friends.
That is a terrifying man.
Yeah,
that is a terrifying man. That man looked right in the camera, and he was like, he looked right in the camera, and he was like, ain't nothing more important than booty.
The booty
is everything. If I see you and you got a nice booty, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna take it. And we gonna do it the easy way or the hard way.
Or the hard way.
Ain't nothing
or the hard way.
Oh nah. I'm catching. Yo, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be like this. Me like if I was in prison and there was a man like that, I'm sorry, but I guess I'm gonna stay the rest of my life in prison because I'm taking that motherfucker out ASAP.
Yeah.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
I'm that's
the booty warrior. Oh yeah,
nah. Bring me my books. I'm good. I ain't going out there being a booty warrior gonna fight. I was literally sending out text messages like, look, all the men in my family, y'all better be safe out here in these streets. The booty warrior out here on the prowl. They let him go. And I get a text from one of my friends like, they let the booty warrior. Oh my God.
Yo, I don't even understand how the motherfuckers do that. Like,
I didn't know this was a real person.
Yeah, bro. Yo, you know what? Nah, you know what? We talking about it. Hold on. We talking about it. We gonna play this. Fuck it. We talking about it.
They don't let the booty warrior out, dog. The booty warrior, yeah, man. They don't release the dog. Oh man.
I can't.
I'm gonna look.
Damn, no one.
Niggas
where does he live at?
Where does he
on
now?
Catch
me slacking.
Okay, his name is Fleece Booty Warrior Johnson.
Oh my God.
Fleece Johnson.
Warrior Johnson. Hold on, let me
booty
this man.
I'll bring this up because
Fleece Johnson. That nigga's out here.
All right, look, this wasn't necessarily on the schedule, people, but y'all need to understand this story. Y'all need to see, like, this motherfucker. This is a terrifying motherfucker. This is a terrifying individual.
Terrifying, scary.
All right.
But when lockup visited Kentucky State Penitentiary, we met Fleece Johnson, a longtime inmate who practices a very different kind of homosexuality.
Well, we have sexual desires, right? So you got a bunch of men locked up in one place. All of them get hard. All of them horny. All of them got sexual desires. So what are they going to do? You won't let them have a woman. They're going to have each. Somebody's going to have to give us some booty. And it's just that simple.
The most memorable story that Fleece told us was about the place and importance that booty has in a maximum security penitentiary. And he went on about it and on about it.
In his prison, booty was more important than booty. A man's butt. It was more, I'm sorry. It was more booty, having some booty was more important than drinking water.
No, this
I like booty.
Johnson went on to tell our crew.
This man Jake's face is killing me right now.
The man's likes booty. All right. The man is.
He said more important than water.
Yeah.
Water.
Oh,
he said, "I'd rather die than go without booty."
It was the way the guard said it for me. That the importance that booty had in a maximum security cell. I'm like, oh hell no.
Let's finish the rest of it.
Hell no. I got tears. I'm crying.
He used to satisfy his sexual desires, especially during the 1970s and 80s, when he was most active and prison security was more lax.
You gotta watch out for them boys.
When I see one, and he looks good to me. When I go see him, I say, come here. I say, I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way.
So hell no.
Yo.
Dog, he would have gotten fucking slapped on the spot.
How cold do you have to be like, to not how cold like you have to be one confident like you just know you're that nigga to walk up to another grown ass man and be like, yo, I'm gonna take your booty. Like there's no conversation on this.
Son? He ain't got no fears in life. Nigga.
He's in prison for life.
He found his purpose. Why are they keeping him here?
For life.
This is what he does.
Take
him away.
Everybody else like this guy's a menace.
We can't keep him around people. No one's asked.
Indra said that they released this man. My thing is, who the fuck, right, on the parole board didn't do their fucking research? Because all you need to do is a quick Google search of this man and be like, yo, we not letting this man out in public.
He got released.
No, I think it was the opposite. I think it was the opposite. They was like, oh, the booty nigga? Yeah, he gotta go.
He causing too much trouble.
He gotta go. Oh, granted, nah, get him out of here, dog. He is get him out. He's going.
Doing it.
Oh shit.
He's been enjoying himself too much in here.
All right. Let's go ahead and get back to the main topic at hand. But we had to go ahead and just watch that video because that was shocking.
No, that was Fleece Johnson.
Yeah, no, fuck that. We ain't shouting him out. Nah, he'll we're not shouting him out.
I heard you talking about.
Nah, yeah, Fleece Johnson. If you watching this shit, you stay your ass home, bro. Stay your ass home.
Glad you out of prison, man. Hope you transition. Well.
Okay, so you know in the Boondocks when they did it.
Yeah.
Hope you transitioned well.
They did an interview.
And if you're his neighbor, I hope, man.
Last did an interview and
I hope you lock your doors.
The guy who did the voice of Fleece Johnson call in to Chris during his Chris Hansen interview and talk to Chris Hansen. He was like, "I'm still looking for you." I was like, "Bro, Chris,
God.
bro." The boy, you're gonna get you.
All right, so my mic out here. My mic about to fall off my desk real quick. But real quick, let's go ahead and focus back on the show. No, we're good. We're good. This is good. I got a great question, and this will be the final question before we move on to our second. We'll take a quick little 5-minute break to give everybody opportunity to use restroom and whatnot, and then we'll go into the second part of our podcast. But the last real question for you, Miss Indra, and it comes from Moms. She says, Indra, can you talk about what obstacles you faced, if any, when you decided to start your clothing line? Have you experienced any pushback? And if so, from who and what form? And how did you handle that? How did you move forward from that? And I'm going to mute myself while you talk about that because I got to fix my mic.
Okay. So yes, I feel like I just started, so I've gotten some pushback. My biggest thing was getting people to work with me as far as doing promotions and stuff like that. It kind of was hard, and people I kind of reached out to at first. I had very little response. I did have a few 3 people respond back, 3 or 4 respond back and say, hey, yeah, I'll do promo for you. But there are people I would think that who are within the community and would be like, yeah, let's do this. They're like, no, we're not going to, they wouldn't respond. And I'm like, dang, this would be something awesome. This is what your content is about. This is what we're doing. I was like, that'd be something. I'm not trying to use anybody, It's just frustrating. I try to keep a level head and say, not everybody's for you. Not everything is going to be for you. Not everybody's going to support you. Unfortunately, within our community, we have this crab in a barrel mentality that frustrates me. And we feel like we can't all get on. We can't all make it. We can't all get up there and level ourselves up. And I'm just like, no, we can. We within our own community have to stop going against each other. We are not against each other. We have so many.
What's crazy that you say that? I just saw today, just this morning, when I was driving back, there was a little quote painted on the side of this building, and it said, "We will never need wings as long as we help each other up." And it said something of that. I was driving kind of fast, but it said something along the lines of that. It said, it was angels don't have wings if we lift each other up, or it was something of that nature. And it was like, yeah, we don't, as long as we're all helping one another, and as long as we're all trying to like, things get done when a team is involved. Like things get done when there's more people involved in. What's that African proverb? If you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, go together.
Ooh,
There is a.
I didn't even heard that one.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
like that one. I like
that.
one.
Yeah, I like that.
And
yo.
it's just frustrating because I'm like, we are based. I feel like sometimes we have this indoctrination within our community that we have to, and that goes back to some stuff back in slavery, that it goes like we were pitted against each other, like how they say house nigga, field nigga type of stuff. We're pitted against each other. That's a contest. We don't. Who wants to be in contest for that? Our nations have been built together. You know, economies have been built and ran together. The Black Wall Street is a good example of Black people in America creating their own wealth. And guess what happened? The government and the white people around them did not like it. And
hate to see it. Hate to see it. They
7 of the richest people in the world at that time lived in that community. And they were all Black. So,
God damn.
That was
just,
real sad.
Isn't there's a documentary or a show coming out about that, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah.
No, I think there is.
Pretty sure there is.
About the Black Wall Street and all that.
That's about damn time too.
Man,
Yeah,
it's crazy, frustrating because I'm just like, I don't want us to sit here and have to go against each other. And it's like, why do we? What are we being gatekeepers for? What are we trying to hold each other back from? Everybody can still coincide to some level of success in this realm, in this community. So what is the problem? Like, you're afraid that because you won't be the only person up there on top of your color, of your hue, of your background.
Right.
There's so many other ethnicities who will congregate within that success and not let anybody else up, and they'll bring their own people up. Why can't we do this? They'll bring their own people up before they bring us up, and that's I just want to change the rhetoric.
For sure.
But yeah.
Was there any like particular experience, and you don't have to say names or nothing like that, but was there any particular experience that you had that's like stand out from the rest in regards to, that crab mentality? Like, in regards to, you trying to network with people, you trying to say like, hey, I want to work with you to promote the brand, and we can see what we can do together. I mean, if not, I guess that's kind of good, but.
I mean, I guess I reached out, to some people who are higher up as far as their success level within this community, the Black American community, Black Geek community, and they kind of didn't hit me back, and that was fine. And I'm just like, I literally, me and the vice president, who was actually my little brother, we talked and we just sat there, and I was like, you know what, that's messed up. At first I felt some type of way, like nobody wants to just like mess with us. Like, I understand they have a brand and stuff like that, but at least take a look at what I'm trying to show them, and if they didn't like it, that's fine. But it kind of was like, he was like, don't worry about it. You got good stuff. You believe in what you're doing, so keep doing it. So I was like, yeah, you're right, man. So I kept going.
And from one
go ahead.
Well, from one content creator to another, I totally understand. Like, I can sympathize and empathize in trying to collaborate with other creatives. Like, there was, when I was just starting, my band and everything, and, I hit this dude up, and once, he wasn't like world famous, he wasn't, nothing like that, but he was somewhat known, and he was good at what he does. And I was like, hey dude, like, I'll actually like pay you, I was like, I already got, this and this set out for you. I already got, like, all you have to do is do it. And like, I just want you on the song. I think it'll sound good. I'm not even trying to ride your coattails or nothing. Like, I'm not trying to go off of your success. But he was just like, yeah, at first he didn't like say anything. And so then I was like, okay, whatever, and then I hit him up like a week later and I was like, hey, in case this fell to the wayside, like, are you still interested or not? And he was just like, no. And I was like, all right, whatever then. Right? Couple songs later, dude, hey man, love your stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, fuck you. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, back then you didn't want you. Like, but now you popping.
Exactly.
All on you.
But you know what?
Exactly.
What's been good for me? I literally have been welcomed by so many awesome people within our community, and you guys included. Geek World, like everybody who brought me in and just like welcomed me. I'm just like, oh man, like it feels good because it's hard being a black nerd and geek, and there's not many of us that are willing to say that this is who they are. And let's talk Marvel. Like when I start talking about stuff at work, you know what I mean? Like guys look at me like, how about that? Like,
right. Yeah, they
you
don't
want to see
expect
what's
that from you.
yeah.
They expect you to talk about like they expect
Yeah.
Indra to talk about like hair or some shit or nails and
Like, oh my
whatever.
God. And that's fine. I like all that stuff too, but it's like, let's talk about the nitty gritty. We don't talk about Superman in my house. We're not doing it. Point blank. You're all Batman in DC, or you getting out my house. We have we ain't doing it.
That's what's up. You know, I agree.
Deadpool is our favorite movie.
I agree with you in regards to certain experiences. You know, so Black Sheep Collective is younger than your brand. We've only been yeah, it's an idea that I've had going on for a while now, like a long while now. But we've only actually been doing like what we've been doing for, I mean, it's going on a month now. So you know, it's we're doing good right now, and we're having some fun with what we're doing. But I have noticed personally, because I'm kind of the person who kind of like tries to reach out to other people and see like, hey, you know, you want to collaborate, you want to do whatever. It is very difficult when you don't necessarily have a name established for yourself. You have to create your own platform in order for people to say, you know what, this person is worth my time or not. It's kind of fucked up. It's understandable to an extent because I do, you know, I can see why people want to be like conservative with their time, but in other regards, you know, there are people who just don't want to give other people the opportunity to, you know, do their thing, to promote their brand, to come up with them. But here at Black Sheep Collective, you know, the whole like I've kind of been debating on like switching up the slogan, because you know my slogan is where standing out is fitting in, and I'm kind of wanting like maybe to add on to that, or I don't know, have another little aspect where everybody eats, because that's what it needs to be, because that's like the whole thing. What like moving forward with my brand, that's what I want to promote. I want everybody to eat. You know, Jake, Dallas, and anyone else who decides to help out. You know, you included. You know, when you reach out to me and you were like, hey, you know, we should do something together. I was like, fuck it, because you know I really rocked with your brand. I really rocked with, one. I rocked with the designs of the brand, but two, I rock with anything that's like, you know, I'm here to promote Black excellence. I'm here to promote, you know, us as creators and give the minority a voice. So yeah, I can definitely attest to like there being difficulties with going out there and trying to establish yourself. But you know, like I'm telling everybody, you know, at the end of the day, if people don't want to help me out, they don't gotta help me out, so to speak. We gonna do what we gonna do. You know, we gonna make shit happen regardless. We gonna keep pushing. We gonna if we need to make the whole platform ourselves before people start recognizing us, that's fine. I ain't saying I want a handout. I ain't saying I want, you know, whatever. I'm just saying sometimes, you know, I would like to work with other people. But fuck it. If you don't want to fuck with me, I'm cool with it. It ain't bothering me.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm going to get mine either way. That's how I feel about it. And I know that's how you feel about it, you know, because at the end of the day, everybody on this platform right now, we all got like hustlers mentalities and shit. So it's just like it is what it is at that point. So, but all right.
And that's how I kind of move.
Yeah, no. So, before we go into our next part of the podcast, the second part of the show, does anybody do we need a break? Does anybody want to take like a little 5-minute break or something like that? Use a restroom, do whatever, or is everybody good to keep pushing forward? You? All right, yeah. So this is what we'll do. Everybody who's watching, we'll come. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick little break. We'll come back, read the comment section, and then we'll move forward with the second part of the show. I see we got a couple people in here watching. It's really gonna be like we'll take like a 7-minute break. So let's go ahead and say 1:30. You know, we come back and we continue the show, and we'll allow everybody else to take a break. So
that's a 1:30 my time, right?
No. Anyway, so for everybody who's watching, just give us. We're gonna take a 7-minute break. There's gonna be an icon on the or countdown on the screen. You'll be able to see it. Please stay tuned, or just come back in 7 minutes. All right.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMO
I think I did something. How do I fix it?
All right, y'all. We are back. Let me go ahead and make it to the main screen. All right, cool. So everything is good. Everything is good. I appreciate everybody who decided to stick through and do whatever. You gotta take little restroom breaks every here and there because this is a very long podcast show. Moving on to the next part of the show. So, Miss Indra, just to give you a little insight on like what we do here on the M.O.B Podcast, you are a special guest, so we took the time to try to get to know you, get to know your business and your personal perspective on things in regards to like your own brand and how you navigated through society and whatnot. I kind of have or the second part of the show, what we like to focus on, the main point of the show, is we like to focus on like societal, cultural, and like interpersonal issues in regards to the Black community in general. And I kind of wanted to I picked a certain topic to talk about because it kind of correlates with your brand, which is like individuality, right? Individuality for people who kind of may have felt as they were outcast because they had different opinions or different interests on certain things. More specifically, things like, geeks and nerds and all that other stuff. So, and this is more like an open forum thing where we all discuss certain things. So, everybody on the panel, I just got a question for y'all. Excuse me. When did y'all like know that you were either a nerd or a geek, and what experience made y'all into that? And we'll start off with Dallas, because Dallas been quiet. So,
well, man, I don't know. I'd probably say because like the elementary school I went to was a magnet school, right? So like there was a real big emphasis on math and science for me. So it was like anything regarding like animals or, stuff like as I got older, you get those little things like, oh, we're going to dissect something today. And everyone's like, oh, this is gross. I'm in there like, yeah.
Like, This
Like,
is
oh, this is your
interesting.
medulla oblongata. This is what a brain looks like. Everyone's tweaking. Boy, I'm in there like, oh, okay.
Oh
Cool,
man, I would have
Fetal
been
kid.
Turn the
concerned
Bunsen
about
burner
that.
on. I'm about to grill up the gizzard.
Yeah, man. You
I would
know
have
what
been
I
concerned
mean?
about you. I would be like, this
you know,
motherfucker.
Like, teacher, can
you know,
you move me over there?
like, yeah, dog, I'm
That
telling you,
way.
man. Like, so like, but like, I didn't get real big into anime like as a kid because I was always playing sports. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, so I was always basketball, track. Start playing football, as I got older and kind of, doing all that different type of stuff. And like my brother was an anime head, so like me and my brother beefed like it was none other growing up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, he likes anime? Nah, I'm good on the whole anime thing because, fuck the other side. But it came to a point where I got older, man, and then I started like actually watching it and sitting down and checking some of this stuff out. I'm like, oh, they throwing hands. Oh, this dude's dead. Like, oh, I've been asleep this whole time. Like, okay, okay. You know what I mean? And obviously, I watched like, Dragon Ball growing up. Every kid, getting home from school, it was Dragon Ball Z.
Every
You know
black
what I'm
person's
saying?
watched Dragon Ball Z.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
wholeheartedly believe that.
That's part of the nerd
Same.
starter kit. That's
yeah.
part of the nerd starter kit.
You don't even gotta be a nerd. Hood niggas watch Dragon Ball Z.
Bro, this is
Yeah.
the hardest cartoon out right
Facts.
now. Like, it's not
Like,
even
like-
crossing me that like there's a whole nother like subtitles and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, man, these niggas is going ham, planets is getting blown up, homie's blonde now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I mean, so I'd probably say I really probably just as a younger kid, I mean I was always just kinda into like math and science, But again, I never thought of myself as being like a nerd probably until I got like older, where I started having like hour-long conversations with people about like, stuff that only certain people are going to be into. And then that's when I realized like, all right, like even being at work, oh, this person's going to go through this procedure. Oh, let me check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I won't get too in depth, but you can only
Right.
imagine the stuff you see. You know what I'm saying? Working at it.
Can you go a little more in depth, please?
About what? about the scene? Put you like this.
Yeah, don't. It's okay.
To sum it up, I've seen some wounds and I've smelled some smells that would make that would make you quite queasy. That's the best way I can.
I believe
Probably,
it.
I don't do good with
I
smells.
believe it.
I do not do good with smells.
So I mean, but even then, it's like, oh man, all right, we're gonna do this. Cool. Why is this way? You not bothered by the smell? Nah, man, I got this mask on, bro. Like I'm good. Like you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, I'd probably say it wasn't until I probably got in like early 20s where I started really like starting to get real passionate about like anime and you know what I mean. After
what's
there was
up.
no more college football, I was like, damn, now what? You
For
know.
sure.
So,
Well, what about you, Miss Indra? When did you like know? I'm a little different. I'm a little nerdy. Maybe I am a little geeky. And what
I don't know.
experience
I
made
guess
you
when I
into
was a kid, we moved from Louisiana to California, and I think I was like 7, 8. And I think one of my first memories of realizing I was different is would wake up for school and watch TV. You wake up for school early, so you get early enough to watch the shows. And I caught a show on Telemundo, and it was Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and I was watching those on Telemundo. And I was like, I don't understand Spanish.
Telemundo.
So,
Interesting.
yes, because that's the only time it would show at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
I've done the same
the
shit.
Shadow would show, and I was like, oh, okay. So I literally was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn Spanish, so I know what they're saying, and I literally learned Spanish.
Oh, you're cold.
Don't judge me.
How fucking crazy is that? You learn Spanish to watch anime?
Yes, I was like, I want to learn this
You're
language
cold.
so I can
Shit,
know
I need
what's
to apply the
going
same
on.
logic with Japanese.
Yes.
I would
And
be
it's-
a subtitle reading ass motherfucker to the day
Look,
I die.
they didn't have subtitles, and I was just like, I gotta make this work. So at that point, I
Motherfuckers in
kind of knew.
Sailor Moon talking about "Por qué mi corazón?"
Yeah. What's she talking about? What is it? I had to figure it out by looking at.
Mi amor con queso.
Hey, they used to have this one commercial for this bread. It's like Bimbo. They call it Bimbo, and it would say Bimbo Lado Bimbo. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Is they talking about red? Is that bimbo?
Right.
Can I get
You
some
just
bimbo?
hear,
And when people hear me speak Spanish, I'm like, "Are you Puerto Rican or something?" I'm like, "No, I gotta be
Shit, I'm
Puerto
Puerto
Rican."
Rican. I don't even know Spanish, so.
Yeah, I was like,
So what happened the first time you heard Japanese? Like, what happened the first time you watched an anime and it was in a different language again?
I was ready because I actually had, at 12 years old, I had a scholarship to go to Japan and live there and go to their school kind of as an exchange. I didn't get to go, but I love Japanese culture, like the nobleness of it, the like the samurai culture and stuff like that. So I was already into that. So I was like, man, I want to learn. I want to learn Japanese.
We have a whole
I was
podcast on motherfucking Japan. I'll tell you
that.
Yeah,
facts.
I want to learn it. And then I was like, it's gonna take some time, and that's a difficult language, and I already know Spanish, so I'm just gonna learn French and Italian. And I'll be good at it. So just read subtitles.
Legit? No, it is legit. That's extremely legit. And Jake, I guess we'll end it with you. When did you figure out? Maybe I am a little nerdy. Maybe I am a little geeky.
Shit, I forgot we were even answering this question. Probably.
And
probably around.
I'm sorry, real quick. I hope people who are watching the video don't mind. Look, I had nothing to eat, and I've been up since 6, so I'm gonna be snacking on the side. Don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me. I got some lemon pepper wings that I need. I mean,
did you bring some for the rest of us? Because if you didn't, it's just
stingy.
Rude. Yeah, rude as shit. Like, hey, sorry.
I'm sorry. I can share this experience. I can share this.
Good.
If everybody wants some lemon pepper wings,
Get an dry rub or wet rub.
Wet.
See, caught you lacking. It's okay. Oh.
Wet? Really?
Yep.
Lemon pepper wet?
Yes, lemon pepper. Listen,
it's wet.
Listen, finish the question. Finish the question, and then we'll get in on this.
No, because we are gonna come back to that.
We are,
because I got a whole tally mark of how fucking weird you are, and this is another one on that.
Wet is amazing. You're tripping, but go ahead.
Wet is okay. So when I first noticed that I was not fitting in was probably around 6th grade, 7th grade, I want to say, because you try to, or I say you, I tried to talk to the cool kids, but I was always met with like some cold shoulder or, some short answer or, they would be like nice, but then, they'd be like,
fake.
They wouldn't give you any attention. Yeah. And so I'm just like, eventually I was just like, okay, well, these people don't like me. Like, I guess I'm not one of the cool kids. Like, I mean, I don't know why. I think I'm kind of dope, but, whatever. And then I think because, I mean, granted, it's probably a multi-factor thing, but I think part of it had to do with like, okay, well, if I can't be like the cool kids, then I probably just leaned into just nerd shit. Because, I mean, it was just, I don't know, out there. Like,
and what kind of nerd?
Like how y'all were saying. Like, I remember.
Were you like a video game nerd or you're a band geek? Were you
Well, I went through phases. So. Okay. At first, I was an anime nerd, right? Started off with Toonami, then it went to Adult Swim, and then after the cartoon phase, I went to the video game phase, and I hit that even harder, right? Oh. Like I was, bro. When I tell you, like I was a ranked international player in Halo. Like I was about it. I was about it. And then from video games. I mean, I still keep up with video games. I'm more of a passive fan of anime now, but like now my thing is music, and that's gonna be it. Like,
big fact.
till I die.
Bro, I can't even lie. When y'all were talking about like the sports nerds that knew like everything about a player, bro, that was me 1,000%, bro. 1,000%.
Bro, people be getting like that.
40 times. 3 cone jumps. I had the analysis down. Boy, I'm telling you, the only thing I watched from the time I was in like 8th grade to the time I graduated high school was the NFL Network. Boy, I've seen so.
God damn.
Motherfuckers be making fun of. motherfuckers will make fun of people for playing like D&D and shit, and then they'll be fucking playing fantasy football and fantasy basketball.
Like that's not the same. Like that's not the same.
Tell me not.
Oh,
Bro.
That's
to
not
this
the
day,
same.
Bro, I
still
caught
get
my
to hit up,
like,
what you think
My-
about
I
so
caught
and so?
so many
Oh
people
no,
up.
man, you gotta stay away from him, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know
My
what I'm saying?
dad
You
got
gotta pick
mad
someone.
and almost
I
got
still
into
be
a
on it.
rumble.
I'm still
My
on
dad
it.
almost got into a rumble with another guy because the argument got so heated in fantasy football that the guy was like, "Yes, I'm your mama" type of situation, and my dad was like,
"Don't talk
"Nobody
about my
talks
mama."
And I was like, "This is fantasy football though. Why are y'all?"
It's in the name, fantasy. It's
Bruh.
fake.
No, what it is,
It's
it's the money
crazy.
that gets everybody competitive like
Yeah.
that. I'm
Yep.
keeping it
Yeah.
facts. You know
Big
what I'm saying?
facts.
Like, if you don't get at least third place, you out of all the money you put in. And then you want to definitely trying to get the pot. You know what I'm saying? But it's more bragging rights too, because it's always people you know. You know what I'm saying? And if you play fantasy football, you know they're gonna hold it against you. Like, yeah, remember when my team busted your ass last year?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those
And,
arguments,
you know,
I
it'd
sit
be a
there and
league,
watch.
so it's the
Like,
same
come
people
on, man.
every year. Like, you're like, oh man.
Right.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Everybody-
So
got
it's
their-
even a community all on its own.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got their own niches. Everybody's a nerd in some way. People don't necessarily like to admit it, but you know, I guess when we talk
Yeah.
about nerds and geeks and stuff, we're talking about like the societal perception of that, which is typically the people who are,
Yeah.
you know, more academically smart or more into things that aren't sports. So, you know, it's just how it is. Yu-Gi-Oh motherfuckers.
We need to normalize being smart without people
Bro,
being called
they-
like
they
nerds.
do.
Oh, my bad.
They do.
Because I feel like that shouldn't be like a prerequisite of being a nerd.
It's-
Like,
It's
if you're smart, that you're just smart. You don't gotta be a nerd because you're smart.
Yes, like
You know how it
Facts.
is. You know, it takes effort to be smart, and it doesn't necessarily take effort to just like kind of like agree with everything and keep it moving. So
True.
you know, people just don't like being shown, or what's the word, shown out, or you know,
showing up.
you know, they don't want to look bad. They don't want to look inferior compared to someone else. So then they naturally just project their own like, you know, insecurities onto them. So,
That's ego, because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, what I realize is the only way you can grow is if you at some point have fallen and learned from that. That's the only way you can grow. I had to learn that lesson, and it's gotten me a lot farther along in life than I thought I would be, as far as, you know, the things I've done and things I, you know, hope to do. But failing is a part of life. We all fail at some point. So why be afraid of it? Why fight so hard against it? If it happens, it happens. That's something that's not going to be controlled. Just learn from it and do different or do better or whatever. Grow from it. So people
Right.
just don't understand. Like, you can't stop change. You can't stop growing. If you are
Facts.
constantly stagnant in one space of not wanting to see where your failures are or acknowledge your failures, you're not going to grow. You're not going to be able to have the opportunity to grow.
preach.
Big
Say it.
facts.
Hey,
Oh
I got
wait,
a-
back
I
to
got a
these
question
lemon
for
pepper
y'all.
wet. Hold on.
Oh, my
Back to this
He said,
weird
All
ass.
right. Lemon pepper wet.
The lemon pepper
So-
wet.
so
What's
listen.
going on?
So,
Listen, if
hold
you
on,
don't
hold on.
know lemon
Am
pepper
I
wet-
the odd one out here? Am I
Yes.
the odd one? I only eat lemon pepper dry. Like both of you,
I like dry. but
Y'all
too,
eat-
but-
I don't know
had
where
lemon
y'all are
pepper
on the
dry.
screen.
Maybe because I live in Iowa, but you know what I'm saying. That's all.
Okay, but you know it as a dry rub. Lemon pepper is a dry rub.
Correct.
listen,
Right. Indra,
listen.
where do you fall on this? Hold on.
No, because I don't like lemon pepper that much.
Oh,
Okay, so it doesn't count. That's okay.
I don't like
Dang.
lemon
Some of
pepper
that-
that much.
For
Oh,
sure.
I like it, but
That
not
means
much. I like barbecue.
that's unfortunate
I-
because it means she hasn't had good lemon pepper.
Yeah,
So
I
Fact.
that's
haven't. The
unfortunate.
wings. Anytime they bring anything out here from they brought Wingstop out here, it is garbage.
Oh.
I was just.
Wingstop
I
is
told them. No, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, the Wingstop and other compared to other places or any wing spot, they try to do stuff
Right,
out
right.
here, and
that's real.
it turns to garbage, and I'm just like, look, I'll just figure it
Yeah.
out for myself in the kitchen.
All right,
Yeah.
so let me
From
let me
Louisiana tastes way different.
educate individuals who don't necessarily know the wonders of lemon pepper wet. And when I say lemon pepper wet, I'm not talking about motherfucking B-Dubs and that new lemon pepper wet sauce that they got, which is atrocious. It just tastes like lemony sauce on chicken, and it's
Yeah.
gross. It's fucking
Yeah.
gross. All right, no, we're not talking about that lemon pepper wet. True lemon pepper wet is actually, so you take like I forget the word, but it's not caramelized, but they do something with the clarified. They clarify the butter or something like that, and it's basically like a butter a rub mixed with like a little bit of, I'm not gonna say buffalo sauce, but some type of spice, and then they put the wings. So they fry the wings. They put the wings in like that butter sauce. So you have this really crispy wing, but it soaks in all the juices from like the butter sauce, and then they toss it in lemon peppers. So you have this really extremely juicy lemon pepper wing. It's not the healthiest thing. Don't get me wrong. It's really not. I treat myself every once in a while, but lemon pepper wet is fire. And if you don't believe me, there's a reason why when motherfuckers was in. I know y'all watched that show Atlanta with Childish Gambino, and the dude was like, "Yo, you got that lemon pepper wet?" And motherfucker was like, like he opened it and it was like the holy grail. There's a reason. Lemon pepper wet.
Yo, good point.
Is fire.
Good point.
Don't get me wrong. I fucks with lemon pepper dry too. I like lemon pepper wings are my favorite type of wings just in general. But if I had to choose, a proper lemon pepper wet is better than a proper lemon pepper dry. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Right, so
okay,
let's keep this.
So I'm gonna take that off the tally because you already got. I mean, you drive barefoot, so that one's gonna stay forever on the.
Oh, see,
that one's gonna.
This is all right. Before we move on to this next topic, I don't drive barefoot. You're wrong. I had socks on. All right,
dude,
I don't
big
drive
toeing.
barefoot. I was not big toeing it. You motherfuckers y'all gonna keep bringing this shit up. If we gonna talk about what happened, let's talk about the facts, yo. And the facts are, I had my socks on and my shoes off, plain and simple. All right, nobody was big toeing shit. So these motherfuckers who say I was big toeing it, nah, they just trying to trying to play me on my show. Let me delete this nigga real quick.
The one toe. Do you use both feet to drive, dog? You got one foot on the gas, on the brake.
Hey, I don't do that. I don't know. I don't do that. That's that speed racer drifting shit. I don't do that shit. Motherfuckers be having the clutch in the gas pedal and doing all this crazy shit. That's all I know.
Every time I hear the big toe, it reminds me of SpongeBob when Patrick was on the radio. Freeze right there, mister.
SpongeBob, my boy took off on Mrs. Puff's ass.
Yeah.
Man.
Man. Oh, y'all ain't shit. All right. Look, this is supposed to be a serious part of the show. You want to fucking talk about some bullshit.
Oh, my God. Niggas driving.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Well, be on the lookout.
Let's move on to let's move on to the next topic. All right. Another open question for the people of the show and for the people on the panel and for the people who are currently laughing. Did you ever have issues being comfortable with social settings or like school or parties or whatnot because of you identifying yourself as like a nerd or a geek or whatever? Because I believe that y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the majority of people who have to deal with those type of labels, whether or not it's weird or nerd or geek or whatever, typically they don't fit within the societal standard of like being normal. So it's kind of more difficult for them to be in like get invited to parties or hang out with people who are considered like cool or popular or whatever. So they may have missed out to certain things, So have y'all ever experienced things like that?
Yeah, I'm socially awkward still to this day. As in a grown woman, I'm very socially awkward. When I started the company, I literally was like, I looked at my vice president and I was like, I don't want to do none of the press. I don't want to be seen. I want to be like Elon Musk. I want to sit in the background. He was like, okay, then things changed. And I was talking to a friend. She does works with different businesses. And she was like, look, you got to go out there in the forefront and talk about your brand because you believe in it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, the first time I went on video, I was like, okay, what's going to happen?
Right.
So now I'm more comfortable, but I still am a socially awkward person. Like, I'll be like making jokes or start rambling. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've talked too much. And they're like, it's okay. I'm like, no, I ramble because I'm nervous.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
sure.
and people pick up on that. Like, I think people know. You know what I mean? Especially being adults now,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
you know.
I don't do much in my life besides like my job, my my home life and stuff like that. I'm not the kind of person that's like out. But I just recently decided to just like go check off things off on my bucket list, and one was going to Bali. So in September, hopefully I can go to Bali. I already paid for it.
Right. Yeah.
Relaxing,
Yeah, fingers
I need to
crossed.
relax. Like
Shit,
I was like traveling.
Americans can't go nowhere.
I'm telling you, I'm like, come on, man. Like I just need to get out, get on that beach, eat some good seafood, and relax. So. Yeah, I'm a socially awkward person. I'm really like it's normal for me to be around myself. I don't have a lot of people I hang around on a consistent basis, and I don't know. I'm trying to change.
Right.
Trying to be a little bit more open.
I understand.
No, I feel like that's more normal though, and especially in an age now where we're all connected. Like, I have found like better friends online than I have found in real life.
Yeah,
you know, and like I got homies that are in Asia. I got homies that are in Europe. I got homies that are in South America. Like, and they're like, we all just get along. We all kick it and everything, and we might play some video games. We might, just get on a call and shoot the shit for a couple hours or something. Like, it's definitely a different social setting ever since.
Did you ever have issues growing up with, dealing with social settings and dealing with certain, social instances?
Not so much. Growing up, I had two childhood friends growing up. One who was like kind of always doing his own thing, and who I'm still friends with to this day. He's actually coming out to see me here in the next couple days. And then another one who was, he was the cool kid. He was always worried about what's popular, what was trending, who's who, who's where, like, and that person, I don't associate with at all now.
Right.
And so, but hanging out with that dude, and being around the cool crowd, and when I tell you, like, we were at parties multiple times a week, you know what I mean? And just always being exposed in a social setting was it just kind of made me familiar to that environment, I guess you could say. So like, it didn't take long for me to learn, like, oh, this is what like social stigmas and social, like, shit, like just learning the social aspect of your society. Like, it didn't take very long, in my opinion, for me.
For sure.
But you probably could ask someone and they'd be like, nah, Jake, that nigga weird as hell. I don't know what the fuck. He always came around. We didn't like him. I don't know.
Well, before we get,
you never know.
Before we get to Dallas's answer, I do want to read the comment section because we haven't read that in a little while. So we got something from Rome DuPont. He says, love y'all energy. Amazing podcast by far. Appreciate that, Rome. Thank you. We trying, man. We really trying. And I think a lot of the reason why we're getting some good positive energies right now is because Miss Indra's in the building and she's really representing pretty hard right now. And so I think that's a big factor as to why this podcast is going as well as it is right now. So then we got Lilo. She said there is an NPR episode on a podcast called Code Switch about the Black Wall Street Centennial. So she was commenting on the Black Wall Street comments that we were bringing up. And Garcia, and this is to Indra, just keep pushing forward. As your brand becomes more successful and gains more popularity, the more motivated people will become to collaborate and work with you. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Dre Ballard is in the house. That's Pops. Pops saying that's because Batman is the GOAT. So I think he was agreeing with you in regards to,
we don't do Superman in his house. You don't get to
all I want to say is if y'all really want to know how a Superman versus Batman would go, y'all watch episode 1 of Invincible, and y'all watch some last 10 episodes, and if Superman really ain't give a fuck, that's how it would go.
Bro, it's crazy how real that is for people in real life, bro. I had a homie who got into a whole bar brawl over a Batman conversation, bro. It was bad. I'm talking a whole bar fight, bro. And my man gets done throwing hands, and all he can say is, "No one talks shit about Batman." I'm like, bro, we don't got into a fight with all these people, dog. And you don't got kicked out the bar. You don't got kicked out the bar. You don't get all this.
Motherfucker
You don't
repping
get
his
all
set
this
for real,
what?
for real.
Don't talk shit about Batman. Like,
Oh man.
No, we Dark Knights up in this bitch.
He probably said it in the Batman voice too. He was like, "Don't talk shit about Batman." All right. So we got Lilo. Lilo said she likes everybody eats. The thing I was talking about, the slogan. Yeah, Lilo. You know, I'm thinking about we gonna find somewhere to put everybody eats in. We gonna find somewhere to put that in there. I'm pretty sure that's a slogan somewhere, but I'm taking it out. Give a fuck. You better trademark that hoe. Dre Ballard says, and then when they claim they are ready, okay, I don't necessarily know what that was about. Dre Ballard, this is in regards to the anime. He started with G-Force, Akira, and Robotech, and then the rest is history. Yeah, Pops is the one who put me on anime shit. So,
Akira is on Hulu, by the way. I'm probably gonna watch that tonight.
Okay, so when I get sad, I like to watch certain anime. So when I feel like
watch Akira.
No. I was watching Cowboy Bebop.
Ooh,
and I was like sad, and I was like, Cowboy
that
Bebop was going to make me feel better. And the first, I forgot about the first episode. The first episode shows oh boy dying. I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yo, Cowboy Bebop is such a. We're gonna have because we will definitely spin off into a whole other tangent, and then this will be a 7-8 hour podcast. But we will definitely have another anime specific podcast, and I will make sure to bring you back for that, Miss Indra, in regard, and we'll probably make that like a big panel one. We can have a lot of people in there because I would like to talk. I would like to talk and tell people why they're wrong about why they think the things they think.
No.
Oh god.
And no.
Lilo said,
I can't wait to hear this Itachi Kakashi thing.
Right?
Lilo said that's how a lot of people learn their second language, so it's a legit method. LMAO. She was talking about
it is a legit
ninja watching Telemundo.
Yeah, I watched Jurassic Park 3 in Spanish once.
Look,
they brought up some lemon pepper comments. Pop said lemon pepper dry is what he prefers. And it's just because y'all
got to be a good balance.
Y'all haven't had proper lemon pepper wet. That's why I'm gonna put Pops. I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna put all y'all on some proper lemon pepper wet, and y'all ain't gonna want to eat lemon pepper dry. I'm just keeping it.
Hey, now you gotta make your own recipe of the lemon pepper wet.
I'm going to.
You gotta pump it up. You gotta do a whole thing.
Air fryer. It's a wrap, bro. It's gonna be and watch. Y'all gonna be like Shokugeki no Soma. You motherfuckers gonna taste it. Be like,
I think they can cook because they got an air fryer.
Clothes gonna fly off.
Clothes gonna fly off. Everything. You'll be like, damn.
Supposed to be in there with a whole chef outfit. Why you got a chef outfit? Got this air fryer, son.
Mm-hmm.
Ready. Like, you a Michelin chef now? Yeah, I got this new air fryer, bro. It's about to be busting.
Rome came through. He said, use your big toe. Yes, Rome, use your big toe. Lilo said she went to a nerd high school, basically, and she was in orchestra. So her friend group were already the artsy and band dorks. So parties were essentially always nerd parties. So I'm assuming that consists of like Dungeons and Dragons and Yu-Gi-Oh and all of this shit. You know what's crazy is that
it goes hand in hand, bro. It goes hand in hand.
I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh. I couldn't. I tried. I was a little bit older.
Me and Jake got.
I was a little bit older when Yu-Gi-Oh got.
And we're not gonna go in on that. But
I watched some of them. I
watched high school.
Yu-Gi-Oh was fire up until they started bringing out like the dice and. Niggas on motorcycles.
I don't know about none of that.
All that. I was good, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Motherfuckers be
in real life, like, you have played
yo. You be like, bro.
I watched a few episodes, but it's intense when they go into battle. I'm like, this
they really
is
do,
real.
Man.
Okay.
They really do. And I just be like, bro. I see people who do it in real life, and I don't want to slander anybody, but. Let's just keep it moving forward, actually, because y'all gonna get mad.
All I'm saying is them card games are complicated.
No, they are.
Oh,
true.
All right. So
now it is. So I take that back.
Well, Dallas, you still have to answer the question.
But
then again, you said that you weren't necessarily or you didn't necessarily grow up as a nerd, so maybe
bro. So like to me, it was like I was always like. I would have this weird thing to where, like, when I'm in big crowds, like, if they're like when I played football, right, and there was a giant crowd, I could be cool because everyone was there to, like, quote unquote, watch the squad, watch me. right?
Mhm.
But like when
Right.
I'm in big crowds, bro, like if you ask me to go to the club, 9 times out of 10, I'm the dude on the wall posting out, making sure ain't nobody trying to shoot nothing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm the lookout. I'm like,
You
I don't
making
even trust
sure.
none of y'all
Oh,
in
okay.
here.
You looking. I say,
Yeah, you know
I
what
thought
I'm
he was
saying?
over here
like,
trying to play security. Like, I ain't playing security for none of you motherfuckers.
Nah,
Somebody post one
no,
like,
not playing
out.
security. No, but it's just like,
I'm out.
you know what I mean? But like, when I'm in smaller groups of people that are my homies, like I open up, we get to laugh, we get to shoot the shit, all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so like, when growing up, man, like I didn't really care what you were into. If you're a cool person, you're a cool person. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, man, I made homies from sports. I made homies from, Pokemon cards to, video games to all of it. It wasn't until I got, and again, it wasn't until I got older where it was then where it's like, I'm done with football. All of this other stuff's going on. What's up? Then it was like, all right, now it's all like, man, I can't wait to go to my first con. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like, oh, if I could cosplay something, what would I cosplay? You know what I mean?
And,
So, like,
Yeah.
that speaks to.
I feel like the later I'm getting on in life, the more I'm like, all right, we about to just go full fledged like anime warrior over here. Like, let's get this money.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a big part of like the ability to do certain things now versus in the past, whether people want to necessarily agree or not, and in like back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'm gonna say like 10, 15 years ago, motherfuckers wasn't really like rocking with anime or video games or nerdy forms of entertainment like that. They were still kind of like frowned upon, and you were considered like, I don't want to say a loser, but you just weren't considered cool if you didn't like certain things. But nowadays, all these other forms of nerdy entertainment are more acceptable, and it allows people to not necessarily have to deal with certain stigmas that other folks may have had to deal with growing up.
Because all I played.
Oh,
was
dog, I'm
Madden
telling
and
you,
2K.
once the internet happened.
Yeah.
What about 2K?
I was that guy. That Madden and 2K. That Madden 2K. What you played, Madden? What else you got? 2K. Man, you ain't got that Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi? Nah, bro, I got the Madden.
And that's the only acceptable hood game. That's it.
You know
Budokai Tenkaichi 3, niggas would be like, yo.
In the same game.
I mean, Tenkaichi 3 was fire. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't lie. That was
When
fire.
I
That was
used to play,
100%
like, video games,
fire.
I was
You know what I'm
such an
saying?
eclectic I wasn't such an eclectic gamer. I think one of my favorite games was when Sonic was on Sega. Oh man, I love that one. But when I had started playing more and more, it was like I played Madden,
Sonic
I played
Adventure
2K,
on the Dreamcast.
huh?
Right.
I played Madden.
I said Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast.
Look, you know the game code, the cheat codes.
Like,
I knew one cheat code that opened up all the levels. I was like, "Yep, which one am I going to?" Yeah, we were doing that, but it was when I was playing Madden, like I was playing, of course, who all plays Madden are men, so I'll just play against them, and they were like, "You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing." I'm like, "All right, I get the Vikings. I love the Vikings." And I would literally go start playing, and I was playing against one guy. He was like, "This is not fair. You don't even know what you're picking." I was like, "I know what these plays are." He was like, "What? I know what a dime is. I know what a flat is." He was like,
So quick question. Did you ever do, like, growing up, did you ever do like any type of online gaming in general?
Not PC. I really wasn't, but
Right.
I really
But,
wasn't like
Call of
by
Duty,
the time
Halo.
I think the most I did was Grand Theft Auto 1.
Okay, all right, for sure.
It
I
was-
was gonna if you did, I was gonna ask you about.
I tried Halo
Mm-hmm.
and Call of Duty. I tried Call of Duty and got mad and threw the controller because this little kid was like talking mess.
Yeah,
and it got real heated.
that was.
And
I
I
don't care.
almost cursed
Nobody
him out.
said.
And I was like, because he said something about my mama.
Xbox.
Her being on top of the roof, doing something.
If you
while
played on the
eating
Xbox
Doritos. And I was
360,
just
you
like,
are
we're
a
done.
ruthless individual.
Exactly. If you played on the
Yeah.
Xbox,
you could only play on
360,
Xbox.
Yo,
I
let me tell
remember
you something.
like, where's
You
your
were
mom?
you
Put her
you
on
grew.
now.
You had to have thick skin playing on the Xbox 360 or playing on a PS3.
Yes, you did.
But especially the
Yes,
Xbox
you
360 because motherfuckers in Halo, boy, they would
Nasty.
listen.
Boy.
Talk about,
Nasty.
listen, let any of the people who are going and doing their things now in the video game market, let them fucking play video games 10, 15 years in the damn past.
Oh,
They be hurt.
man.
Motherfuckers be hurt.
Nah.
More than
These
that,
Fortnite kids,
there'd
they
be all
couldn't
kinds of
handle it.
viral videos of people getting canceled, bro. It'd be a wrap.
Yeah.
The people were going in. I literally was just sitting up there like, this little boy about to make me fight him. And I was like, I'm a grown person. Look, sir, where's your mother? Can I speak to your mother? Put her
I
on.
beat kids up. Shit.
I was like, yeah. I don't care. I fight kids.
Shit.
I fight dogs.
You ever seen Silicon Valley?
No.
And the dude, he goes. So there's if y'all haven't seen Silicon Valley, it is a show for nerds. Like, you know how The Big Bang Theory like really fucking sucks because it makes fun of nerds and it's not funny. Silicon Valley was made for nerds by nerds, so it's hilarious, right?
Okay.
And there's this dude's trying to buy drugs from the neighborhood kids. And like, instead of getting Adderall, he sells them like Tylenol or something like that. And so this other dude walks up to the kids and just starts beating the shit out of them. And like, just the way they go about it and like the shit talking they do back and forth and everything. And
it gets
like
real.
when you said that, it just reminded me of that scene.
Right.
It is so it's one of the biggest scenes out of the show, right? Because you
know
don't
what
see
people-
it coming.
You know what I think was one of the best things they did on Call of Duty is that they had the little feature where if you killed someone, you could hear what they were seeing for like the next like 5 seconds or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I heard a lot of hard R's. Heard a lot of hard R's on Xbox. Heard a lot of hard R's.
I was watching this video when T-Pain was like, somebody was talking mess, talking shit, and he was like, T-Pain was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
beat their ass.
Bro,
Yeah.
T-Pain is fucking
T-Pain
good.
was going in on, bro. I was dying. He's cold.
I was like,
Yeah.
That dude was mean. Mean as hell.
oh, I was like, he
So,
gonna buy you a drink and a casket.
big facts.
Halo Street.
So we were talking about like being comfortable in social settings and whatnot, in school parties and etc. But have any of you guys, I guess to expound upon that, have any of y'all ever felt like outcast, or maybe like you just didn't fit in a particular setting in general? So we'll start off with you, Jake, because I see Jake's nodding his head. So we'll start off with Jake.
Yeah, dude. One of the biggest struggles growing up for me was I was always exposed to all these different crowds, so I never knew which crowd I would be able to fit in. And me being light skinned, I was always living a life where I was too white for black people, but then I was also too black for white people. Like, if that makes sense, you know.
No,
And I would try to make, black friends and everything, like my older sister, my older brother, like, there was an obvious difference in like who we associated with, how we act, how we talked, how we dressed, how we like it was a constant like navigation battle. And even to this day, like it kind of goes back to what Dallas was saying a little bit earlier. Like, it's just like, if I rock with you, I rock with you. Like, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter. Like, I kind of believe in getting in where you fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I fit in with the people who don't fit in, then I just still found somewhere I fit in. Fuck
right.
it.
For sure. What about you, Dallas? You ever felt like an outcast? You ever felt like you just didn't belong in a particular setting?
I mean, man, like
Dallas was like, nah, nigga, I play sports. Shit. You can say
Everyone
what you
love
want to
me.
say. He was like, everybody love me. Shit.
I mean, not.
He's like, I was running
in a way,
motherfuckers over.
kind of, but like making the
My numbers.
but nigga, like, making the transition from like sports to being like in anime, I was way lost, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, way lost. Like, because like the thing about anime is that there's so many. So you ask people like, "Oh man, what's a good anime?" There's gonna be a list and a list and a list and a list.
That's
and
true.
It's like
Shameless
bruh,
plug
like,
for everybody who wants to actually know what a good anime is. I have a top 50 list. Just hit me up and I'll send it to you. All right.
yeah, man. But I mean,
I'm surprised you don't post that shit like once a week and all that.
I should. But
updated top 50 again. Nah, but
Right.
I mean, so like I was always just kind of like I was always chilling, man. So I wouldn't say I've never really like had an experience where I felt like left out or what I'm saying, like I wasn't included or people were like, no, we don't fuck with you, you know what I mean? Because
right.
I always kept my circle small, and I always just, hey, what's up? How you guys doing? Like, even to this day, I meet people that like, oh man, I remember you from high school. Like, how you been, man? You were just all about football. You didn't talk to nobody. You wasn't trying to like, you wasn't. Like, hey man, let's go out and party. Nah, bro. Like, I'm good, man. I'm in the crib, man. So, that's just how it was.
For sure. And what about you, Miss Indra? You ever feel like an outcast?
Or
do you still feel like an outcast?
I don't care either way, honestly. I've always been different. So being that kind of person, like even within my family, my siblings were like, "You're the weirdo," so which was fine with me. I didn't care, I've come to accept it. I was a child that I played sports 365 days out of the year. I was either basketball, track, football, soccer. I was playing a sport. I also was the nerd. I was really nerdy and really geeky. It was just like, but I still had friends out there in the streets doing like that. I want to do hood rat shit and smoke cigarettes with my friends. I had good friends. Those were my friends too. I want to smoke cigarettes and do hood rat shit.
Not the Newport 100.
I was that child. I still had those friends, like, but I was just such an eclectic person that I really like. At some point, yes, it did feel bad to not like be accepted and be welcome. But then I seen what I was wanting to be welcomed into, and I'm just like, all that whole popular stuff. Those people like who strive to be popular and do become popular, a lot of times they peak in high school. That's the highlight of their life. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, because they focus so hard on that. And I was just like, it's not that important. High school is a millisecond of part of your life.
Yeah.
Yes. Once you graduate, you look back, you're like, I hate high school. Like most people, like I hate high school because it's the dynamics in high school is such a small spacing of people, so many people, and you have these ecosystems within there and people trying to integrate, and it's just a lot going on. I was just like, I didn't care. I was like, they're like, hey, you want to, my only downfall I think is they gave me a chance to graduate a year earlier, and I was like, I want to graduate with my year, and even all my friends were a year ahead of me because they were all like older.
That in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I was like, I wish I would have done it, and they were like, well, what you gonna do? So I took a whole class for a whole year. It's just one class. Right. I didn't have to take, but I was like, let me take it. But I don't want to be a part of. I don't want to be a lemur.
And that's
what does that mean?
That's a good.
What is a lemur? Lemurs.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Okay, so they're a species of what are they? They're not like cats, but are like kind of rodents. A species of rodents.
Right.
But they have,
man, King Julian from Madagascar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know how they say lemurs all follow each other. So they're like if lemurs fall off the cliff,
okay,
they're all follow each other mindlessly and not think about things. Yeah. That's what I didn't want to be. I'm not a mindless clone. Even my whole my birth was crazy. So why would I not be? Like I was born during a hurricane. I'm named after a freaking Indian god I didn't even know I was named after, which was weird. I got a boy name and it sounds like a girl name, and I'm just a different person. I just gotta accept who I am and stop. When you fight who you are, it's
a battle.
It's a battle.
It's
exhausting.
Battle.
I can't see watching people who do that. I've been there and watching people who do that. It's like you lose yourself and who you really are. But once you get back to yourself and say, this is who I am, you can accept it, or you don't have to be in my space if you don't want to,
Right.
And you're not going to change me to be who you want me to be. And once you accept that, you start having that glow up going on. Like, yep, I like me.
Facts. That's what's up. And that kind of leans into the next question that I was going to ask y'all. Do you think that people is it better to go with the flow or is it better to go against the current?
Depends on the flow. Man. Like right now, you should get your vaccines.
Okay.
I mean, depends on where the flow is going, right? Like in a case of me personally, right? I believe that I'm really good at observation. Like I'm just really good at observing things, right? Finding a common denominator with, what's going on. And, you can see where things are going to go or what things are going to die out or, whatever, right? That's just kind of how I'm tuned. I just naturally do that. And with important things, if like 70% of people are doing it, there's probably some logic to follow.
There's some
you know,
validity to it.
probably some logic to follow. Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, you got people listening to Tekashi 6ix9ine, and this dude's over here breaking records and shit. So like, you kind of gotta pick your current. You kind of gotta.
You mean Tekashi's
what
not
am
a
I
person
gonna
to
follow?
listen to? What?
Oh wow.
No, I see what you're saying. No, you're basically saying it depends on the context or whatever. You know, that's understandable. Anybody else have any opinions on that question? Any thoughts? Or
Man, I think it's almost similar to how Jake's is, but to me, I'm always a fan of out and do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? But it always has to be for like the right reasons, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, especially where it's like if you can be a rebel, you can have like your own deal, but don't just automatically go against the grain on something just because like you want to just because you're the rebellious nature, right? So like the whole general topic you talk about to try and make their point, like no, you're talking about the exception right now, like not the rule. You know?
Exactly.
Not the consensus.
Are you like? And the thing is, just like, are you like this with everybody? Like, are you just like
you're just being difficult to be difficult?
Bro,
yeah.
And
I do, right? Because at the end of the day, the person that started the first big video game thing, right? Everyone was probably looking at him like, yeah, bro, whatever. No one, this isn't going to catch on. It's just like a little
fucking nerd,
a little worm on the TV. This isn't going to work, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure the first, you look at people who you fail on certain stuff and people will try and shut you down. So you got to do what.
By the way, the dude who created video games was black. Just wanted to throw that out there. Continue, Dallas.
Yeah.
Go ahead, preach. Preach.
Just saying.
It's just one of them things, man, where if you're in tune with what you're doing, then that's fine, But don't do something with the expectations of I have to do this because everybody else is doing it, because you got to be able to think for yourself. You know what I mean? Have your own thoughts, be your own person, but the world's not flat.
And you're the only person that deals with the consequences of any decision that you make. And that's what people have to, whether good or bad, consequences can be both good and bad, so whatever consequence you have that is given is going to only be given to you by the decisions that you make. And that's what people have to think about. Like you said, it's okay to be different, and it's okay to kind of just listen to the consensus and come up with use critical thinking to come up with your own idea that may be similar, but it may be suited more for you. So that's what,
right.
I just
do y'all
feel
think
like
the Earth is flat?
Oh man,
why are we going into conversations that are not
weird about that
like educational?
Is well, what's weird about that is
I see Jake's
everyone
face. Jake's like, the Earth is
hold on, like everyone knew the Earth was flat until it wasn't, right? And then so it became accepted that like, yeah, obviously the Earth is a fucking globe, right? It's shaped like an orange. And then all of a sudden in these past like 5 years, the Earth is flat again. And it's like, where did these people come from? That is like, did they always think this? Bro, I had a legit conversation with this woman, and she told me that, Doc, when I tell you, like, she said, countries are a lot closer than you think. When you fly in airplanes, they fly in circles just to make you think you're traveling far, and then they just land like next door, like. And I was like, "Oh my God. Open a window, open the window.
What are you doing here? Like,
you can see where you're going."
I literally, like, when I watched this documentary about flat earthers. I think everybody probably watched that documentary. It was just like watching it. It was like painful. I was like, why? Why are you guys doing this?
I seen
like,
this
what's the purpose?
experiment that I think all flat earthers should watch if they still think the Earth is flat. Where a guy he's on like this wide open field, right? It's like a completely flat plain field, and he was doing this experiment where you have two basically cardboard cutouts that are like a certain height off the ground on both ends, right? And if the Earth was flat, when you shine a light or like a light source through the first hole, you should see it while you're looking through the second hole, right? They should line up basically. And if the Earth is round, then it won't. And I forgot like the full extent they went to it, but the point is they did the experiment, and then the guy was like, all right, watch this, and then he was like, all right, go ahead and put the light through the hole, and then dude couldn't see shit, and then dude was just like, okay, raise the light a little bit, and the guy raised the light, because if you raise the light, that means that the earth is curved. So he raised the light, and
there's a curve
and he could see it on the other end, and then he was just like, oh, that's unfortunate. And I was like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Like, that's literally how simple.
And it's so funny.
It's literally how simple.
Because I know the video you're talking about.
Imagine
And in the video, like, you just see them deflate. Like, they're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm
like, you can just see that moment of,
and we'll go check it out. We'll check it out after this segment, but I'll pull it up and we'll watch that shit, because I was just like, bro, you're fucking stupid.
It's just like a level of
question for Indra. Since we're talking about like fitting in and like all of that stuff right now, I have a question for you. Compared to like maybe like back in the day during high school to now, right? Because I feel like when it comes to like chicks who are like anime cosplayers and video gamers, like they're winning right now, right? Like the attention that they get from like men is like, oh man, I want a girl that I can play video games with and watch anime with and do all this stuff now. Do you get like a lot more guys in your DMs trying to slide through and see what's good now that you're into cosplay and video games? Do you get a lot more like of that attention, or is it still just more like the same for you?
No, I don't know. I really haven't gotten anything like that in my DMs or anything, but I don't like to tell people like things like I used to model when I was younger. I used to do a couple things, so when people have seen those pictures, they're like, I don't post pictures like that anymore. I'm very like, but you can find those pictures and they're out here, and I'm not mad about it, but I was like, I'm a very like low key person, so when I do things, or if somebody sees me like dressed or wearing a little bit of makeup, or hair looking different, like I cut my hair, it was like everyone was like, you look different. So I don't like really like, I'm such a low key person, but when I do like dress up, anytime, even when I was younger, I would like dress up or just produce a little halfway decent stuff, and they were like, what the heck, you look different. I'm like, yeah, I like being low key though. So no, I haven't had really much of any of that. I think they thought I was a man. They still think I'm a lot of people are like, yeah, bro, what's up, bro? I'm like, okay.
She said she on that Sierra shit.
Yeah, I'm just like a boy out here. I'm just like, I didn't answer. Yeah, what's up? One guy was like, so you're a woman, right? I was like, what made you think that? Like, oh, I see. I was like,
oh, you playing with him. You over here playing with him.
Like, what you think? I don't like people to know. Like, I'm like I said, Elon Musk mode. I was like, I wanted to stay in the background, but like,
inconspicuous.
I'm doing a business part. Yeah.
Incognito.
Come out with a flame.
Yes, because my VP was supposed to do all the media stuff, and he left, and I was like, for the summertime, and I was just like, oh man. He was like, you got to do it, man. I was like, all right. I gotta go out there and show my face. So
for sure.
I gotta be public.
I can't be like Elon Musk. Are you serious?
Right. So another question for you guys. Why do you think it's important to surround yourself with like-minded people versus trying to conform to societal norms of what is considered cool and accepted? So if you want me to break that down, basically, why do you think it's more important for you to be like, hey, you know what, I want to hang out with other nerds versus, hey, let me try to go and fit in with the popular kids just because? It's a difficult question, I know.
I know, right?
I was actually waiting. I'm already good to go.
Jake, so go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, if anyone else
go ahead.
No,
I'm just a loudmouth, so I know I have to give people, like, let me not talk over somebody for one.
Go.
Jake's like,
yeah.
I'm over here with my hands on Birdman, making a Play-Doh snake over here.
Mm-hmm. Ready. So what's up, Jake? What do you think about that?
This is gonna sound dumb, but can you repeat the question?
Oh, Jesus, this motherfucker. He's like, I'm ready. Wait.
Sound dumb,
can you complete
now, what we're talking about?
the question? So, why do you think it's important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals
Yes.
Versus people
Okay.
who versus trying to conform to societal norms of what's cool and accepted.
Definitely. Because I believe a lot of our lives come down to identity, right? And a lot of our identity comes down to self-acceptance, right, for ourselves. And like how many times you hear motherfuckers like they actually I'll just use myself as an example. I grew up in a religious type household, right? And for people who are religious, right? These are people who follow traditions. And don't get me wrong, Christmas is my all-time favorite holiday. It forever will be. It's the most wonderful time of the year. But what I do not like is going to church every Sunday, right? That's something that I don't agree with, right? Having someone else read something out of a book and then telling me how I should interpret it or how I should be reading it, that's another thing that I don't like, you know? There are, and granted these are just small examples. There's more I can go into. I'm not anti-religion, you know, I'm not some like hardcore atheist. I'm not some, you know, however you find your peace, cool.
Okay.
You know, that is what it is. But when it comes down to, how do I say, finding a community that you can be confident in and you can be yourself in is extremely important, right? But, right, because everything comes with a but. When you find yourself in a community that majority of people don't like, it should tell you, right? That should tell you that you should probably just do some self-reflection, right? Just bigger picture, just take a step back, look at what you're doing, look at what the people around you are doing. There's a celebrity, well, now he's a celebrity, he used to not be. There's a celebrity that I follow because he's a really, really, really good musician, right? But in this past couple years, he's kind of fallen off the deep end, and now he has radical political views, right? And so he found his own echo chamber, and he has a following of thousands of people, right? And so that's giving him that, I want to call it false confidence, to where he doesn't ever have to question himself because he's found the ultimate cult,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know? But then it's like, all right, well, if you have a following of 10,000 people, but then 1 million people are telling you you should probably rethink some things, right? You should probably look at the numbers. And you should probably, like I said, take a step back and kind of reallocate, or whatever the word is I'm looking for, what you're doing. But that's just me.
For sure. For sure. Anybody else want to comment on that situation, or do we think that Jake kind of hit it on the nail? It's up to y'all.
I'm always a fan of, like, when the people that you hang around and the people that you associate yourself with, you should always be able to be yourself around those people. But I'm not a fan of having like an echo chamber as like my main group of friends, right? Like, I want to be able to have conflicting views and learn other people's standpoints and be able to learn to
Right.
see from other people's points of view on different topics, so I can broaden my own horizons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Iron sharpens iron.
You know, it's like if we all sit, like, and especially goes into things like politics, right? For example, like I'm never going to be one of those people like, oh, you have, you know, Republican views or you have super Democratic views. I don't want to be associated with you, right?
Right.
Like I want to be able to talk to you, find your point of view, challenge your point of view, or ask questions so I can understand this, and then come to an understanding. We don't have to agree with each other, right? But I feel like as a person, you should always want, like when it comes to, like, you know, business, right? If you have a business plan and you write everything out and you don't have no one else look over your business plan, you don't have no one else give you like another set of eyes or anything, you're like, this is just it, right? And then you take it to the bank and they're like, well, now we see this is something that you could have gotten taken care of a minute ago if you just had someone else to kind of like look through and maybe challenge it and ask you a couple things, right? So I mean, I'm always a person where always have people that you can be yourself with. Always have people where you can, you know, don't let anything small get in between you. But I mean, don't have everybody agreeing with you, because if you're just over here doing self-destructive stuff, oh man, I do crack. Oh, it's all right, man. You know, okay. You know what I'm
That
saying?
Right.
crack.
Oh, it's all right. Or they'll just give you the weird look,
Mm.
like man, you ain't gonna say nothing about my newfound crack addiction, dog. Like,
Right.
you just gonna let me
me.
roll on
Ain't
with
none of my
this. You know
business.
what I'm saying? Like,
For sure. All right. No, I can respect that. That's what's up. Miss Indra, anything you want to say on the topic?
Yeah, I mean, I guess same thing as they were saying. It's just a part of being grounded person. I don't ever want anybody to be in my friend group that are always going to agree with everything I say
Mm-hmm.
and everything I do. And I have the ability to separate, like it's like we're talking about with politics. I have the ability to separate the person from the politic. But there's certain times when you start seeing the politics and the person coincide, and that's the fearful part about it. Like, I literally had a situation where I worked with a girl, and we worked together and helped each other out. You know, we were casual and cordial with each other, and I kept seeing her post like some politically disparaging things, and I'm like, you don't even have your facts on it. Please don't say these things. Like rhetoric that was just like ridiculous. I was like, you're talking about the kids that were the immigrant children taken and put in cages, like, oh, they shouldn't have been over here. Or you're posting some racially derogatory things, and then next post is a quote by Martin Luther King. Like, we're not doing this. Like, this is hypocrisy. We're not doing this. So I literally would tell her, but then you're posting a video about your daughter, who was a young white child, throwing up gang signs. And I'm just like, and I have to, like, personally, I didn't go on her page or anything. I literally personally, hey, that's not cute. Your daughter doesn't even understand anything like that. It's not cute to have her posting this stuff. This is not a fun and game type of situation. Anybody who knows stuff like that or who's a part of that, she'll get in trouble for that. And stuff like that. Like, I'm like, why are you you being a hypocrite? Like, literally, she got mad because she was on a posting, and I was like, you're posting something that is really, like, first you said post a piece. I was like, this is the third time I've had to correct you on this. I was like, we're done, you know. And I kind of just like, you're talking about Obama and all this stuff, that's fine, but you know, I said some things that's kind of like condescending, and she got mad and called me a nappy-headed bitch.
Ooh.
All right.
Damn.
I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then I had to break her down with some facts, and she called me a welfare queen. I had to break her down with some facts. Yeah. So,
Bro, the audacity of some
Yeah.
I had to try to bring back, because they have this whole thing of like, oh, you're from Louisiana, you crazy, you got a bad temper. And I'm like, what? They're like, all women from Louisiana have bad tempers. But stuff like that.
I mean, then again, y'all do create hot chicken, so like, for you to ruin food like that, like to make it intentionally spicy, there has to be a little bit of crazy.
You know what's crazy is that he's talking shit about
like
Louisiana
food,
people,
Jake?
but that motherfucker Creole as fuck. So I don't know why the hell he's talking shit about. I don't know why he's talking shit about Louisiana folk. But let's go back to what we were talking about. So,
but yeah, she literally like this, like literally, I was to that point. I was like, nah, that's what she wanted, because you know, you and your mom was talking craziness about these things and uneducated. And it makes me sad to see the uneducatedness. But you know, I wouldn't want to have to feel like I have to join. I felt that before.
yeah. So have you ever had? Have you ever felt like? Have you ever been in a situation? Because I feel like at least in regards to like what we're talking about in regards to like being your own person or versus trying to fit in with societal norms. When it comes to surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, you know, we don't necessarily want to be in an echo chamber, but we do want to surround ourselves with people who have similar interests to what we have versus
fundamental beliefs.
Yeah, versus trying to always associate ourselves with things that are, you know, with people who are doing things just for the sake of popularity or for the sake of the fact that it's what's blowing up or whatnot. So I think,
because the things that are blowing up is not.
They're not.
Back like,
and that kind of like kind of
I'm not
segues
judging.
to another point, or another topic I think that people should focus on, and it's something that I have my own beliefs on this, but I want to ask you guys, how do people adopt a independent mentality, meaning that their beliefs, their morals, and the things that they do aren't necessarily heavily influenced by others, right? We do things because we want to do it or because you're comfortable with doing it versus the fact that other people want you to do it. How do you think people adopt that mentality?
I think it comes from challenging yourself. When you tell yourself, like right before I joined the military, like I joined it almost because it was my last, like it was like my last ditch effort, you know? And but by doing that, right, I was still challenging myself because I was joining an entirely different society. Right? There's something that I firmly believe in, and I believe that every single person should get out of their hometown, right? Just go somewhere else for a year, right? Drop in the bucket. Go somewhere else for a year because that's going to cause you or it's going to I said that wrong.
Force you?
You're going to have to force you. Thank you. It's going to force you to adjust, right, to a new people, a new culture, a new society, a new social setting, a new, you are going to have to apply yourself to survive, to live. And as soon as you challenge your normalcy is when you find out how independent you truly can be. And some people are codependent, but some people are crazy independent, It just it just depends on the individual.
Right. Okay. Okay, for sure. Miss Indra, what do you think about that? How do we adopt an independent mentality? How did you adopt an independent mentality?
My morals.
Okay.
That's a lot of things that I really was big on sticking to my morals and who I was. Like, if I say we were going, I go out with my friends and I say, okay, I know my limit is 3, so I'm gonna have 2 tonight, so I can, dance that off and be cool. And you literally, I'll stick. Or if I say I don't feel like drinking tonight, or if I don't feel like doing this tonight, and I just kind of stick to it, or I say, okay, this is the kind of person I'm not going to be. So I tried to stick to that, and it kind of created a separation from me and the crowd, shall I say, the crowd. So it kind of created a separation because people were like, oh, you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. One thing I value is my morals. If I can go leave this earth with anything, is my morals. If I've stuck to them, if I've abided by them, if I stayed true to who I was, then at least I can leave this earth knowing that I left something behind,
For sure. Yeah, you stick to your ninja way. I respect
Yep.
that. I respect that.
So that's what the basic thing, just that created a separation because I was one that was like, yeah, I wasn't a goody two shoes. I wasn't perfect. Oh no. But fundamental things, that are morally, I stuck to those, as far as how I am as a person, how I treat other people, the way I go about certain things, I stuck to those. And it created a person that was just more comfortable with who they are. I used to get called ugly all the time. I used to feel the need to do things that to try to fit in that I wasn't comfortable with, or look like a certain person that I wasn't comfortable looking like, And I just got to a point I was just like, why am I doing this? They're not gonna like me anyway. They're not gonna want to be friends with me anyway. I'm doing these things and still I'm not getting the same kind of, warm welcome as I wanted to. Now I'm getting people hating me or something, or not liking me. But
right,
I just stuck to that, and it just made me come to a lot of self-realization. So
for sure. So you got put yourself in a uncomfortable or in another position where you don't necessarily know your surroundings from Jake, and we have stick to your morals and principles from Ms. Indra. Dallas, what do you think? How do we adopt a independent mentality?
I would say educate yourself and because man, there's so much stuff out there, right? It's so much stuff, and find credible sources for your education, right? Like, you know, nowadays at the times of the internet, you can look up anything that you can search a biased question and get information that's biased towards your own point, right? So it's important to me to be able to see the views of all different things and all different sides. So I'd say educate yourself, man,
Mm.
and don't and I'm gonna kind of like coincide with what Indra said about like having like your morals and stuff. Don't be afraid to stand on your principles and things, but if it's something that is wrong, don't be so close-minded to where
Mm.
like what I'm saying. You're
So
not
that brings
willing
up
to
an
change
interesting
as well,
question. How do we
right?
know?
Very true.
How do we? How do we know that something we believe or our morals or something we want to stick to? How do we know that that's wrong? Or how do we?
Well,
Ooh.
it becomes well, it's wrong because like some if you do something and somebody else is affected negatively by it and
Mm,
you continue to do that, then you're basically just like disrespecting that person, right? I kind
mm,
of think of it as
okay.
like as as for example, the word retarded, right?
Okay.
Like grown like long ago, probably like 20 years ago, when you said that word, it wasn't that big. I mean, it was a lot more commonly used. A lot of people said it, and
Hmm.
even though it was a medical condition and maybe some people were using it like in that way, like, oh, that boy retarded, what I mean? Like that was not, it didn't make them feel well. So when we get older now, it becomes of this person's intellectually disabled, this person
Mm,
has a mental health issue, this person is
understood.
and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So like if nowadays, like if people have come out and said that I found that hurtful, and now all of a sudden, if you're still like, no, it's just a word, you're retarded, then it's like, come on, bro, come on, man,
It's
So
you know what I'm saying?
disrespectful.
we
You know what I
have.
mean?
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
So it's like if you're trying to justify your way of making someone feel bad and saying something like, "Oh, it's just a word," then
Mm-hmm.
obviously you need to do some growing up. You know what I mean?
Some
So
personal development, for
right,
sure. So
Maturity.
we got. So Jake basically said to broaden your horizons and put yourself in a situation where you're not necessarily familiar with everything. Indra was saying that you should stick to your morals and your principles, right? And as long as you do that, you can be comfortable and move independently. And Dallas was saying that people need to educate themselves and be more open minded and be willing to accept criticism if something isn't necessarily like if something doesn't necessarily go with what you believe. Meaning if just because you may think something is right, if a larger demographic is saying this is wrong and they're voicing to you why they believe it's wrong, then be open and willing to listen to that and possibly change your ideologies. Right. So that's basically the those are the three components for everybody watching, for the 5 viewers watching right now. Those are the three components to having independent or adopting an independent mentality, as said from
And you,
the M.O.B Podcast
and,
and Miss Indra.
and you got to think about it that the most dynamic people who have been thought about have gone against the grain,
Mm-hmm.
have been people been who have not followed, because in order for there to be a change, in order for there to be something dynamic that's created, you have to look at the world differently.
Mm.
And that's the biggest thing. And like with creatives, we look at the world differently, and so many different uh, ways of seeing things. I'm an observer. I
Yeah,
like to
different
sit back and watch
perspectives.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, different perspectives is just a great thing. Not everybody's gonna. You don't want to have a perspective that is always something that is pleasing to you, because you never get the chance to understand
Mm-hmm.
different things or different perspectives and use your critical thinking to come to something that you're comfortable with. And
Right.
that may change. The world changes. So
For sure. Nah, that's what's up. I'll say my little 2 cents. I've been kind of keeping quiet on the questions aspect of things, but I do want to say my 2 cents on this because I think that this is a very um, important thing that people need to realize, and it kind of coincides with my brand, Black Sheep Collective, right? for people who don't know what like a black sheep is, it's someone that for whatever reason has always been considered an outcast, right? Normally, in the context of a black sheep, it's based off of appearance, but just in general, black sheep could be someone's mentality, someone's interest. It is a plethora of like different things that make someone feel like an outcast, right? But just because you're an outcast, or just because you don't necessarily fit in with what everybody else considers to be like normal or cool, it doesn't make you wrong, and it doesn't make you like any less than anyone else. It's important to have independent thinking because at the end of the day, there's only one you, right? And all the consequences you have to deal with, whether they are positive or negative, you have to deal with them by yourself. And if you want to be content with yourself as an individual, then you have to be willing to say, it's okay that I'm different. It's okay that I don't necessarily fall within the normal spectrum of what everybody else considers to be cool. I'm comfortable with myself. And because I'm comfortable with myself, I'm comfortable with not following the crowd. I'm comfortable with being my own person. And yeah, I just think that once people adopt that mentality, I think what everybody was saying is true. Put yourself in difficult situations, stick to your morals and principles, become open-minded. All those things are, contribute to becoming an independent individual, having an independent mentality. And I think to my little tag on that would basically just to be really accept who you are and really be comfortable with yourself. And the minute you stop giving a fuck about what everybody else has to think about you in a sense of, am I cool? Am I whatever? Am I this or am I that? Then, you'll be fine. As long as you're a good person, there's really nothing you have to worry about. And when I say don't give a fuck about what everybody else thinks about you, I mean that in like the positive way. So if you're like a racist motherfucker and you're doing shitty things, you should care that people don't like you in that regard. But if you're just, if you have your own like interests, you have your own appeal, and someone just doesn't necessarily rock with that or fuck with that, or that's not their like taste or whatever, so what? Who are they? For every one person who doesn't like you, there's another person who does. That's just how I feel about it, So, all right. The last question of the day, and then we're gonna wrap up today's episode. And I want to ask this question first to everyone else, but I want Miss Indra to close this out. So I'm going to ask you this question last. So Dallas, why is it important to be comfortable with who you are, regardless of labels like weird, geek, nerd, lame, etc.?
Because no one else can live your life for you, and no one else is going to feel how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like kind of like when we were kind of allude to like last week's episode when we were speaking, with Kai, when we talked about people, who are, are homosexual or, on the LGBTQ, community, stuff like that. The pain that they feel from everyone else's feelings, no one else is going to feel that, right? Like no one feels, the oppressors don't feel bad for the people being oppressed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not like they're sitting there like, oh man, what we're doing is wrong, but we're getting paid. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's gonna be able to live your feelings for you. No one's gonna be able to live your life for you. You gotta live your own life, and you gotta do what makes you happy, and you gotta do what's cool for you. Because at the end of the day, we're all on borrowed time. You know what I mean?
Facts.
If you wait till you're 45 to start living your life, you're not guaranteed to make it to 50. You know what I mean? So you got borrowed time here. Make the most out of it.
For sure. Jake, why is it important to be comfortable with who you are, regardless of those labels?
Because it's liberating. Because that internal struggle that we were talking about earlier is one of the biggest weights that you can carry or drag with you for your whole entire life. And there are people who have, on their deathbed, have life regrets of not being who they are, wishing that they were who they just wanted to be. And regardless of what you believe in, this is it. This is the only life we got. This is the only life we know. And whether you think, what came before, what comes after, none of that matters. What matters is right here and right now. That's it.
Big facts. Big facts. I mean, yeah, no, I agree. And in regards to what I said, I kind of said, I kind of alluded to this last question earlier, but I agree with both of you. At the end of the day, the biggest thing is, only you have to deal with yourself. You only have one life to live. So if you have to choose whether to live a life of like constant internal struggle of having to deal with the pressures of society and all this other bullshit, I mean, that doesn't sound very fun to me. It doesn't sound very liberating to me. So why not just accept the things, accept the fact that you're different, accept the fact that even though you may have these labels on you, that these labels are just constructs that other people put on you, and they don't really mean shit. At the end of the day, you just like what you like, and there's nothing wrong with liking those things. So
End of the day, no one else is paying my bills, so you can eat my ass if you think you can tell me what's up.
Miss Indra,
I think Fleece got you on that.
Go ahead. Oh,
They said that's how you get pink eye.
Oh, Fleece Johnson is happy as a motherfucker. That boy said, "Hold on now, I watched the podcast and I want you, Jake."
I want you.
He gonna be calling in looking for you.
And real quick, let me read these comment section before Miss Indra wraps a couple of things up, and then we close out the show. Melody Jones came through. I see Melody has liked the post. Thank you, Melody. Appreciate that.
Hey, shout out to Melody.
Shout out to Melody Jones. She said, "I like to observe too. You learn so much about people with just watching," and I agree.
True.
And then to wrap up, I guess she was giving her input on this last little bit. She said, absolutely being your authentic self is important. It's what's going to keep you free mentally, spiritually, and physically. People are going to judge regardless, so you might as well just be true to yourself. Go ahead and preach, Miss Melody. Go ahead and preach.
No matter what you do,
Somebody
no matter what you do,
to say about it. Somebody has something to say about it.
So, Miss Indra, to wrap up this segment of the podcast, why is it important? And I wanted to say this for you because you are the CEO and head boss lady in charge of GERD Clothing. You have established a brand where you have embraced these labels like geek and nerd. So I really wanted to know why it's important to be comfortable with that. Why is it important to be comfortable with who you are, regardless of those labels, and why we should just embrace them like you embraced it with your brand?
For me, I feel like it's something I heard from somebody I work with. He was like, I want to be able to wake up in the morning and look at myself in the mirror every day and be happy with that person. Nobody's perfect, and accepting your flaws and the ones that you need to work on, working on them, and the ones that are just who you are, accepting those, it creates it creates growth in you and maturity. That's what this world is about. We only are kids for a little bit of time, and during that age you see a lot of judgment. Kids are kids, right. They're going to be that way, but as we get older there should be space for us to be able to mature and grow, and part of growth is accepting who you are. Finding who you are and accepting that, flaws and all. I have flaws. Oh yes. I have flaws and I accept those, and I don't let those flaws bring me down. If it's a weakness, it's a weakness. If it's a strength, it's a strength. And I really want everybody just to be okay with who they are, because a lot of things derive from not accepting who you are. A lot of psychological things, a lot of physical things like body dysmorphia, stuff like that. That comes with not accepting who you are and wanting to be a part of societal standards. And I can't, even standardized testing. I'm not good. I don't want to be a part of your standard.
Facts.
I'm not a standard. Why would I want to be a standard? I want to be whatever I want to be. So That's very
For sure.
important. Keeping yourself, not losing that person. So
For sure. That is what's up. So before we wrap up today's episode, Miss Indra, what are your honest opinions on the show? Any last words,
I
remarks?
like it. You guys, I told you guys I don't really get out my house. I should do anything. I'm a hermit. So
Right.
talking to people is fun. I like
Okay.
doing this. You guys, look,
Right.
I've
For
always
someone who
wanted.
claims to be antisocial, you were extremely social this
Very
Really?
whole
social.
entire.
Yeah.
I
Social
don't talk.
butterfly.
Look, I have a smart mouth, and I can't stop talking about that smart mouth. Like I talk mess all day. This is my life. I hang out with a bunch of old black men. They're all my friends.
For sure.
That's my life.
And
But
any last remarks or advice you want to give to people who may want to be like you, where they want to start their own brand, start their own fashion company, or maybe they're just dealing with the difficulties of being called geeks and nerds or whatever. Any last advice on that?
anything you want to start, go for it. The only way you'll know whether it's going to be a failure or success is if you try. Being afraid of trying, at least because of failure, is a hindrance. The only thing you can do is fail, and from there you just learn and you make a decision on where you want to go with that. So never feel afraid to try. And as far as like business owners, I would say do your research. Be prepared for what you're going. Don't ever go into something thinking you're going to start off making all this money. Oh, I'm going to be a millionaire after this first time. It's always a cycle, and it's always a process that you have to go through. You have to prepare for those processes. So don't be like head in the clouds when you start something. Be aware of what you're going to go into so you won't be like blindsided by things. And I had to learn a lot of lessons, so I'm still learning.
For sure.
Hey, aren't we all?
Yeah, about to say. I think everybody's still learning. But all right, everybody. All right, goons. This has been another episode of the M.O.B Podcast, episode 5 with Miss Indra. Before we wrap up, I did want to give you an opportunity to drop all your social medias and your website and all that stuff. So why don't you tell the people where to find your gear at?
So you can find all of my gear on GERD Clothing.com. That's where we have all of our stuff. We're going to be having new stuff. If you want to be a part of the email subscription, that'll actually give you access to all the exclusive stuff that we're going to be dropping. I got some real fire tube collections coming out, and more from my original GERD collection is going to be coming out. I have some fire. I just dropped the first batch to test the waters. The second batch is when I'm running. So I'm gonna be.
Hey, well, I just want to say I picked up a little,
like,
something of your,
That's
just want to say, like, the stuff is good. The support is real.
Like, if you guys look at this, like I said, I have like Letterman jackets coming. I have fire shirts coming. I have shorts. I have jogger sets. I have stuff coming. I just wanted to test the water. So, but make sure you guys follow us, GERD Clothing, on all social medias. And also, I got something I'm going to be sending you guys is a promo code for you guys' thing that you guys can put on. So give to your listeners for 10% off in the store. Got you. So I'm going to be sending that to you guys.
I'm definitely gonna come through and pick up some things. You showed me something yesterday. I'm not gonna ruin for everybody else, but I'm definitely gonna cop one of those. Definitely gonna cop one of those. So and for everybody who's watching right now, after this video, I will definitely make sure to go in and edit on on YouTube and other things, and I'll add the links to all her social medias and her website, so you guys can order and follow and subscribe and just support Miss Indra and her efforts to making GERD clothing something legit. And I'll also post the promo code as well. So thanks again for coming out and showing your perspective.
Thank you guys
on today's episode. Again, everybody, make sure to follow her on our platforms and let her know that the mob, you're part of the mob and everything like that. Let us know what you guys thought about today's show in the comment section below. Remember, we try our best to have meaningful discord and conversation, because at the end of the day, although we may agree to disagree, these are things that need to be talked about, and these are conversations that need to be heard. So follow us on Facebook, YouTube, IG, and Twitch. Share this episode with all your homies and all your people, especially if you rock with us and you support us. And just have a positive rest of your day, people. And remember, at the end of the day, only you can be you. So you might as well be comfortable with that. All right. So peace out.
Bye, guys.
Everybody pose for the thumbnail.